So if they hate this video, this is off of their own volition.
Correct.
There's nothing from Octorok's video that indicates that this was your video.
Wait, hold on, Skitty. Hold on. If you're not gonna let Octorok moral F, if you're going to moral F about Octorok saying that like it's not too late for a late-term abortion and like say it's a death threat or whatever, why are you acting like this is when it gets serious and like now this is like very serious? They're a real threat. We're turning Skitty Bitty into a lampshade.
Is that like a reference to like what the Nazis did?
Yes. Yeah, this is Skitty talking about like responding to Octorok and being like, well, I was actually right to call you out and you're evil. That's what it is.
Yeah, like, do you know what the context of like Orientalism is?
Generally, is it sort of the sort of pejorative mystification of Eastern cultures to their detriment?
Yes.
That's pretty much a general idea. It's a very complicated concept that they will explain, you know, for sure. But as long as you got a general grasp of it.
Okay, I'd probably hang out around for a few minutes, but then unfortunately I've got more work to do.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Hi everyone, Skitty here. As you know, I've been hard at work on my Breath of the Wild video. I'd say the script is about 75% done, and I'm on track to finish it by the end of August at the latest. I'd love to keep my head down and continue work on the video, but unfortunately some internet drama has cropped up that bears addressing. On July 18th, Octorok Reviews released a video called What's Wrong with Skitty Bitty. The video is 42 minutes long, supposedly took a month to make, and details an alleged months-long harassment campaign that I've supposedly waged against Octorok Reviews in the months since the release of my Gerudo video in March. And if this video had been an honest recap of everything that had happened since that video was released, encompassing both of our behavior and ending with a sincere apology towards me and a call for me to take accountability, I would frankly be cooked. Fortunately for me, I guess, this video is not that. To be clear, it's true that there were times in the past few months where I've acted in ways I regret and said things I shouldn't have. I'll be addressing those things as they come up because I don't want to be the kind of person who can't admit when they make a mistake. The same cannot be said of Octo, whose video makes no attempt to accurately portray his own behavior and is completely devoid of any introspection. His video is also predicated on people not paying too close attention to the evidence he's showing of this so-called harassment campaign, because if you listen to what he's saying and take it at face value, I seem like a monster. But if you actually pause and read the screenshots he shows in his video, many of them do not show what he claims they do. I'm not interested in going through his video point by point and calling out every instance of him being dishonest or lying by omission. That's more effort than this issue deserves. But
that's weird.
Why not?
Because like, if you want to just flame the guy, right? Wouldn't you like be?
Wouldn't you want to do that?
Here's a lie.
Yeah.
Like,
you can do a lightning round. You know, like nobody's saying you should do it slowly.
She's not going to do that.
No.
She's not going to go through point by. No.
Which
okay.
you know, I don't feel great about that point when I don't really trust Skitty. But whatever. Okay. Sure.
But I also refuse to stay silent when my reputation is dragged through the mud by bad faith actors. So you can consider this video a sort of compromise. I want to set the record straight while wasting as little of both my time and yours as possible, so let's get into it.
That's me.
In my Gerudo video, I said the following. I should note that Octo has been cordial, even friendly in our public interactions, but it doesn't feel sincere. If anything, I'm waiting for him to turn around after this video comes out and talk about how all this is so uncalled for and he's only ever been nice to me. Unsurprisingly, this is exactly how his video begins. He mentions how the very same day my Gerudo video came out, I took to Twitter to taunt him and send my followers his way. What I actually posted was this, a screenshot of an exchange Octo had in another YouTuber's replies a few weeks prior, where he was vague posting about my upcoming video.
Hold on, let me hear that one more time.
He mentions how the very same day my Gerudo video came out, I took to Twitter to taunt him and send my followers his way. What I actually did is took to my Twitter to taunt him and send my followers his way. Is that, am I understanding this correctly? He said, okay, so she's saying, I didn't actually, you know, taunt him and send my followers his way. What I actually did, show screenshot, is taunt him and send my followers his way. What?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Maybe it's like a semantical thing where it's like, followers, you know what to do.
Yeah, I didn't actually say that the followers should do that. Okay.
Posted was this, a screenshot of an exchange Octo had in another YouTuber's replies a few weeks prior, where he was vague posting about my upcoming video, revealing my true colors in some way. Here, his vague niceties when talking to me directly contrasted with the passive-aggressive way he was talking about me on social media prior to the video's release. I continued to relentlessly post about him while he stayed stone-faced and ignored it all, but that's simply a lie. He quote retweeted this post, calling me a bully, which I quote retweeted in return, saying that I was amazed by his persecution complex and apparent inability to introspect. I pointed out that he had been taking refuge in the handful of comments on his original Gerudo video, and
I think we would have to read what each statement says, right?
Yes. But we don't get to see it.
But it was months after you suddenly blocked me on all socials and made vague threats about you making a takedown video against me. Several people in that thread called you a bully, and I'm starting to believe they were right.
And then...
Okay.
The persecution complex you managed to maintain through all of this after you picked a fight with me, and then you made a video misrepresenting what I believe is remarkable. No humility, no introspective, just liking comments from people telling you you've done nothing wrong.
The whole "you picked a fight with me" narrative feels very disingenuous, considering that they weren't even named at all. They were censored, and their identity was not even hidden, like, not even shown.
Yes, they were very deliberately censored. So it's like,
so this is this, you guys can tell me if my understanding is correct, which is Octorok made a video generally about the Gerudo, and in that he addressed the general ideas Skitty Bitty had, but he never said it was Skitty Bitty.
correct.
Well, it was actually, it's even more cooked. It's one screenshot of a 6-like tweet. That's the only thing that is Skitty Bitty's like, thought process that's being contested in the video. It's not like they went against their video. It's not like they went against other tweets. It is one singular tweet that is censored from the name in the profile picture. There was other people that they challenged too, where they censored name but didn't censor profile pictures.
Honestly, I think you could still include her name,
And it wouldn't matter.
Everything about her channel. You could do a direct response, right? Like, you absolutely could do that. And then I would say, depending on the tenor or the language used in the video, that would sort of dictate your response back.
But even so, the whole point is that Skitty treats this as if, Octorok was picking the fight. When in reality, he was doing everything he could for it not to be a fight. It's really fucking stupid.
She could respond, but I would say that your response, it would in video format, would sort of, again, depend on how Octorok was presenting you in the video. And my understanding is he actually went out of his way to cover that info up.
Right. Well, and my whole thing about it is, if you consider it to be a fight in the first place, it's like, why? Like, I mean, it doesn't need to be. It can be a discussion. Like, that's what it was on the Octorok
Well,
side.
this is where you don't understand Himpleton. This is the blood sports arena of media critique. Okay.
Of course.
Everybody, any disagreement, especially on like topics like this, will recently inevitably devolve into fairly aggressive back and forth.
I bought a new couch. Just thought you should know.
Thanks, you for the 5 plants. Congratulations on your new couch. But yeah, no, I mean, I get it, Calesto. It's just like, I'm still going to find it fucking retarded. Like, I mean, it's just, it doesn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's like...
Well, okay, so I would put it this way, right? Like, let's say you and I go back and forth about, I don't know, what movie. Let's say we go back and forth about Project Hail Mary or something.
Sure.
We might just end up disagreeing on elements of the film, right?
Yeah.
But once you start getting into the combination of the media itself and then some sort of larger cultural topic, that's when everything starts to go crazy, right? That's right? Shit really hits the fan, right? And that was the whole thing with Otterly Noah, right?
Sure.
Like, I wasn't just like disagreeing with him on like how good or bad one specific movie was. It was an encapsulation of talking about media, but then going into like cultural topics, things of that nature. And that tends to be, at least in this iteration of the media critique sphere, it gets pretty blood sportsy back and forth, let's say.
Sure.
So that's why when I'm sure if you had like a generic conversation about like the combat system in Legend of Zelda, or how G elements work in Legend of Zelda, I couldn't imagine it getting super heated this way. But once you start going into Gerudo and Orientalism, then that's sort of an avenue for politics to come into play. And
we did go to pedophilia from fire hydrant fatality ability. So, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay.
She is the godfather of the non-Bitalian mafia.
Thank you for the 2 Sunday. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all evil. Yeah, they're all evil. Everyone's evil.
That's how this happens, yeah.
Yeah.
I pointed out that he had been taking refuge in the handful of comments on his original Gerudo video and hearting only the ones telling him that he'd done nothing wrong. He quote retweeted.
Okay, what is this? What is this weird, like, selective critique? Only hearting the... Okay, let's translate this to not be as, like, clearly biased as this is, right? So we're going from only hearted the ones that say he did nothing wrong to only hearted the ones that he liked, that he agreed with.
It would...
Right?
It would be, like, you'd have to read what he specifically hearted, right? Because sometimes I do believe it can reveal some info. Like, after the Noah plagiarism debacle, I'm fairly certain he was hearting a lot of comments that were just saying, oh, you just didn't cite your source, or, okay, you missed a few citations. And so he was, like, hearting all of those.
We've already covered Skitty, and, like, I've already covered what Octorok said. So, like, I do know what those comments say. And it's nothing remarkable. It's nothing remarkable. Okay. It's nothing like hogboxy or remarkable. It's just like You know, just typical shit. Just agreeing with the video itself, being like, this video is cool, or whatever.
Tweeted me again saying I misunderstood his intentions with his initial video and that he had offered to work things out privately, which I had ignored. And that's true. I did ignore the message he sent me because it read to me as wildly insincere. I posted this message he sent me in the replies, pointing out that he asked, "Are we not cool?" and said that he preferred to avoid drama, which I found ridiculous considering.
So Octorok sends Skitty a DM trying to work things out, and Skitty blasts it on Twitter and is like, "Ha, you really thought we'd be cool?"
He'd made an entire video based on a Twitter fight he picked with me that misrepresented what I believe. And yes, his video did misrepresent what I believe.
Sorry, could you just go back real quick
and
pause? Like, just to see Octorok's initial statement.
Drama, which I found ridiculous considering he...
Okay. You hate the Gerudo. I think they're fantastic additions to Ocarina storytelling precisely because they're meant to be this tragic other that got dealt a bad hand in life. They're products of their environment, not inherently evil. Now, Breath of the Wild Gerudo is another matter. Okay, this is not disrespectful whatsoever.
No, not at all.
This is just simply a disagreement.
Nuh-uh, Calesto, you don't get it. This was them picking a fight, dude. Hey, come on.
I mean, you can, this is a way to go back and forth about the Gerudo, but I wouldn't say this is, now we're picking bad faith fights.
No, I mean, no normal person would. No normal person would, try to assert that, right? But this is Skitty and trying to justify all of their insane behavior towards Octorok, so they have to make it... It's so ironic how Skitty says that Octorok has a victim complex when it's very clear that Skitty is the one with the victim complex. Consistently trying to shift blame onto Octorok whenever possible and not take accountability for any of the things that they have done.
Made an entire video based on a Twitter fight he picked with me that misrepresented what I believe. And yes, his video did misrepresent what I believe. Octo says in his video that I ignore the fact that he claimed people wanted the Gerudo to be removed or retconned out of the Zelda series, which first of all is still not what anyone was advocating for, and second of all isn't what a retcon is. Retconning the Gerudo out of the Zelda series would mean retroactively writing them out of the continuity. That's what retcon is short for. This is something I've never advocated for. What I've suggested at a maximum is a more thoughtful and well-researched character design that's less rooted in stereotypes. I'm not trying to go back and censor anything. I'm looking towards the future and thinking,
dude, Skitty, we need the Palestinian Gerudo. Come on.
Okay, this is the whole. It's problematic and needs to change. Yeah, I mean we've seen this with a bunch of IP. It's fairly annoying, and you kind of have to fight back against it because these people just get really offended at everything. And I mean, again, to be fair, I don't know specifically about the Gerudo, but it's generally a trend I've seen with. A lot of bread tube media critique stuff will talk about the problematic nature of some piece of media and then use that as a springboard to advocate its change in the future, usually over just being offended more so than anything else.
Well, and the other thing was the video that Octorok made about the Gerudo, again, only shows one statement from Skitty. The vast majority of it is just responding to people's arguments in general. Right?
What? It just gets
thank you for
worse
the
by
$5.
the way constantly. This video is one of the worst videos I've ever seen. Also, movie trailer derail.
Wonderful. Thank you for the 5. No. We'll get to it soon. Oh, great. We've got 2 professional racists here.
Are we talking about stereotypes?
No.
That's fucking God.
No.
Maybe I shouldn't be here then. I don't know.
No, I mean, you can be here.
I didn't know
I'm
what
just a little scared.
Given right there. It almost felt like verbally when I saw your face expression. Oh no, maybe I'm messing something.
Yeah, because I got scared. I don't know what you're about. When I hear you say, "Are we talking about stereotypes?" and you sound very excited, and I can hear a shit-eating grin on your face, I'm gonna get a little scared. Okay, obviously.
I heard about the controversial group known as the Gerudo.
Wait, do you like Zelda? You like Zelda?
I loved Zelda.
What are your thoughts on the Gerudo?
My favorite Zelda game, because I know that's exactly
not
what you just asked.
Okay.
Ocarina of Time.
Was Twilight Princess.
Oh, you're so gay.
God, that is gay as fuck. Anyways, so what are your thoughts on the Gerudo?
Dude, worst one, by the way.
Well, aren't they just black?
What? No, they're not even black. What are you talking about? What?
There's no way that was conveniently timed. That guy totally...
What is this guy talking about? Wait, did he just leave? Okay,
yes.
Great. Thanks, Remnant. Very cool. Okay, thanks, Remnant. Very cool, man. Thanks. I really wanted to hear your opinions on the Gerudo, but I guess not, man. Whatever.
If I had to do things differently.
God.
By this logic, Breath
He
of the
fucking
Wild
smoked
retconned the
you.
Gerudo by giving them different outfits than their Ocarina of Time counterparts. It's ridiculous. But okay, back to the Twitter argument. I pointed out that the description of Octo's Gerudo video complained about, quote, oversensitive Twitter users ruining his favorite fandoms.
My favorite thing that Skitty says about the Gerudo
is that not the case?
It is the case. But it's like, my favorite thing that Skitty has done and said about the Gerudo is there was this one like post that I think they reposted or something where they were like, this is the Gerudo if the Gerudo was inspired by like Palestinians. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's great. Skitty's also a Jew, which is interesting. Very interesting. Maybe trying to make up for
Don't
something.
leak that, you fucking jackass.
It's already leaked. It's already done. It's fine.
Asking,
The
are we
damage is
not
already
cool, was
done.
ignoring the elephant in the room, and I didn't want to entertain a conversation with him on a dishonest premise. Hopefully you can already see, just from this explanation, that this wasn't some flood of unreasonable tweets directed at Octo for no reason. It was a back and forth where I called out his cowardly behavior.
No,
he
but
didn't
that
respond to
rebuttal
this, and
is
things were quiet
psychotic
for
as hell.
Yes.
Like, even if you think that the guy's being malicious, at least, like, you know, like, if he's picking a fight with me, why not just engage in the conversation? Why do you need the validation of everyone from the public to be like, yeah, dude, look at this fucking loser just said, and all it is like, hey, you want to talk it out so we could, like, you know, fix our beat? It's like, you look psychotic.
You know what? We need the Free Palestine people to get on this. I'm gonna say it. We need the Free Palestine people. We need actual Middle Easterners to get on Skitty Bitty's case and be like, guess what? You're not even Middle Eastern. And you're telling us how the Gerudo should look. Okay, we need Middle Eastern Gerudo fans on this. Okay, Free Palestine, you know, and then be like, well, she's actually Jewish, so she's been oppressing us, and like all stuff like that. That's what we need. That's what we need here. Okay.
for about a week until March 19th when a Twitter user called Tyrion posted a screenshot of the thumbnail for my Gerudo video and captioned it, "New Zelda fans really think they deserve to live." This post got over 1 million views, and the replies and quote tweets were populated by people dehumanizing me, calling me slurs, and making invasive comments about my...
Okay.
Yeah, that was not Octorok.
That has nothing to do with Octorok. Again, this is what I was saying about Skitty having the real victim complex, so it is so ironic for Skitty to act like it's Octorok with the victim complex, when it's clearly them.
Yeah, this is an issue I had when I went over this, right? Clearly, the numbers are not numbering, right? Octorok is a 12K channel, and Skitty Bitty is a nearly 100K channel. There is no way Octorok sent you, like, an influx of haters that is just, like, overwhelming for your audience. Like, it's insane to me.
Right.
Obviously, someone has the bigger audience out of the two. And you're referencing something that has nothing to do with Octorok, because, yes, I watched his video. I'm sure you have too, Hippleton.
Yep.
There's, like, no mention of Skitty Bitty at all, no link to the video, nothing. What? So
Joe's
if they hate
and
this video...
Muslims for turpentine.
Hold on, pause.
Thank you for the 5 Sunday.
Yeah, so if they hate this video, this is off of their own volition.
Correct.
There's nothing from Octorok's video that indicates that this was your video.
Yep.
Okay, like, that's insane that you're going to even try to pin it on the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
my body. Octo knew about this, which I know because he replied to several of these people simply nodding along. At no point did he disavow the blatant harassment.
Okay.
Octo knew about this, which I know because he replied
Let's
to
see the
several
examples. I sincerely apologize for releasing this monstrosity upon all of you, but thanks for the laugh, man. Aren't you the guy that all the annoying Zelda fans constantly crying over? Based. Yep, that's me. I made my own video defending the Gerudo, and that's exactly what started this stupid drama. I'll link it in case anybody wants to see how it started.
people simply nodding along.
Wait, god damn it. You know, it's really funny. I'm seeing a lot of projection here because Skitty is also saying that a lot of these screenshots that Octorok shows don't actually represent what really happened, and I'm starting to feel like there's a theme, but
And
we'll
making
see.
invasive comments about my body. Octo knew about this, which I know because he replied to several of these people simply nodding along.
Watch the video. It's stupid bias and attacks another better content creator. What point were you actually trying to make here? Aw, thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the video so much. What?
Yeah,
So that's him
they
responding to a
literally said
hater?
better- Yeah, so no, so this guy said, yeah, what better content creator? So yeah, I think that is someone that either hates him or likes him. It's kind of
Okay, and then we have leftist zoomies don't deserve the fruits of the labor that so many people sacrifice to make.
Along.
Oh my god, no. I just moved the fucking subtitles. Come on. Thank you. I miss when Gerudo were entirely evil, greedy bastards. This gray morality bullshit makes everything so bland and uninteresting. They were always thieves and still are, I think. Did something change in Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, they suddenly became Amazonian-like warriors for some reason. Don't know why they decided to go in that direction. Kind of a weird retcon. And so this ensures that... Okay, wait. So this is like a false equivalency. Because essentially what Skitty is trying to say is that because because Octorok is responding to these tweets in particular, Octorok is aware of a massive hate campaign going against Skitty, saying that they are trans and evil. That's a false equivalency. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense at all.
This also just has nothing to do with Skitty Bitty with his response here.
Yes, correct.
Along. At no point.
Well, what is the post unavailable up there?
So that was the original post that, no, we do know. It was the original post that had the thumbnail of like Skitty's video that was like, this is like a gay video essentially. So like the tech.
Well, I would say that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would just say that like depends on the specific tweet, right? So if there's just someone generally calling the video stupid, and then there's a conversation going on in the replies, and he replies as well, that would be a lot different maybe than some of the more aggressive tweets she's shown.
Well, but that was what it was. It was literally just the general discussion around it. It wasn't any of the super aggressive tweets that she's shown.
Yeah, I would say in that case, if that's the case, that's a reach no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, like, Octorok's not being silent, really. Sure, I can give that, but, like, the comparison is just such a huge difference, right? We got Skitty who'll start the stuff, right? Start the, campaigns and the hate against Octorok, and Octorok just merely replying to somebody else's start against Skitty. It's not equivalent at all.
No. I mean, it's just like, it's literally like trolls remorse. That's what this is. Like, tears.
Yeah.
Harassment.
All right,
on the
boys.
contrary,
Unfortunately, there's some more work I got to get to and some
All right,
plans.
you're fine,
So
man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right.
I mean, this is even like a sub-genre of the media critique. This is the Nintendo fan base, which is a whole
Soy-tendos.
bag
Yeah,
of what.
it's so awesome.
Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about this specific property, so sorry I couldn't help more.
Well, Skitty's friends with Grimigula. That's all you need to know.
No, okay. All right. Let's have a good stream. All right?
Yeah, all
Talk
right.
to you later.
Take care.
Talk to you later. All right.
Yeah, remember, you can come back in and, give us your Legend of Zelda knowledge.
Yeah, great. Please, buddy. Yeah, we're desperate for it, dude. We need it.
Yeah, unironically, Nicandros really, really loves Ocarina of Time. So, like, if he's free, you could, like, actually get...
Isn't that the original game with the Gerudo in it?
Yes. That's actually the game that he's also been playing on stream.
Yeah, I knew
watched
that.
some of his gaming streams.
So, and then,
Yeah.
let's see. This was more recent, but it further proves he knew that the thread was happening, or about that thread as it was happening. These shitty foids need to be put in their place. Hey, it's Tyran. You know Skitty tried to claim that you were calling to kill them with your Modern Zelda fans think they deserved a live post a few months ago. I remember that, lol. Okay. So, whatever.
Actively being friendly with the people
I don't think
doing
they addressed that, by the way, either.
Octo was also in the replies to my tweet from a week.
Showing footage of a Sharia court in the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, a nation of 45 million Muslims, is not only bad faith, nor does it reflect on all Muslims in any way. It's simply one example of how Sunni jurisprudence is enforced.
Publicly defending his decision to use a documentary about the Taliban as
When a documentary about the Taliban is your only example of real-world Islamic culture, yes, it's obviously bad faith, you spineless weasel. Still stand by the documentary, by the way. Skitty's just mad that it paid Sharia law in a sexist light. They never claim it isn't factual or accurate because they know it is. Their only recourse is to pretend like the Taliban doesn't follow Hanafi Sunni law, the same as many other Muslim countries.
the singular source for, quote, real-world Islamic cultures in his Gerudo video, which I, quote, retweeted calling him a fucking spineless weasel. Was this mean? Yes. Was it unprompted? No. It was around this time that my friend and community moderator Boobly decided to join Octo's then public Discord server to see how he was talking about the situation within his community. Octo claims that I sent Boobly to harass him and his community members, which is flatly untrue on both counts. To be clear, Boobly was involved in the original thread that sparked Octo's Gerudo video, and in that video, Octo showed his tweets on screen with his profile picture uncensored, calling him a freak. I didn't send Boobly in on some sort of recon mission, he joined a public Discord of his own volition. Octo claims he harassed people in there, but he doesn't provide any evidence of this because it doesn't exist. At most, Boobly repeatedly asked for clarification about why.
Yeah, and to be fair, this is a point that I called a stretch on Octo's part. Like, I think it was pretty soy of him to be like, oh, this was harassment, and they were, like, making my server members uncomfortable. But the grace that I gave him at the time when we were reacting to it is, like, look, he's a media reviewer. It's built different than, like, commentary, so, like, I can kind of understand how it would be different or whatever. But, like, yeah, it was soy, and he certainly opened himself up to this criticism.
For example, Octo put cropped of Riju in the same video in which he argued that the fetishization of the Gerudo wasn't a real issue. The only person Boobly was even a little bit mean to was this mysterious individual, and I won't make you wonder who it could be because I'll tell you. This is the same man who made a thread about me on the notorious harassment forum Kiwi Farms. I made a video about this guy over a year ago on my second channel, which I'll link in an iCard if you're curious. Speaking of Kiwi Farms though, it's worth noting that several of the sources Octo cites in this video that demonstrate my alleged misdeeds are pulled directly from my Kiwi Farms thread. If you look—
Okay.
Yeah, this seems like a non-point. Like, as long as it's like being vetted and verified to make sure that it's like, you know, accurate, I don't really care.
I mean, my response to that is seethe and sneed, maybe? I don't know. Like, am I supposed to fucking care? Like, who cares? Okay? They cited a source on Kiwi Farms. Wow. Also, my other thing is, I don't know. I think, I don't know. We'll see.
Look at the screenshot he shows of my redesigned Gerudo drawing. It's identical to the one posted on my thread on the farms, down to the number of likes, reposts, and comments. And
that's so incredible, Skitty. Who fucking cares? Thanks.
This guy uses Kiwi Farms. Most base thing ever.
Yeah.
And Octo scrolling through posts like this, and this, and this, and this, and still being like, yep, this is definitely a good source of information. The last thing I'll say about my Kiwi—
it's not— oh my god! It's not about the fucking opinions, it's about the actual information. That's why people use Kiwi Farms for videos. It's for the information, not the opinions.
Me on the farms. How could they think that this is a good place to use it? It's like, bro.
Dude, me when I find out that there's like significant evidence over like somebody being a rapist, but then I realize that the source is Kiwi Farms, and under like the genuine information that I can use that is nowhere else to be able to find like easily, I see that they are saying mean things about the rapist, so then I don't use it because that would be unethical. Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? This is such a bullshit point. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
Farms thread is that it's probably where he found this infamous clip from my now private stream where I reacted to Synthetic Man's Tears of the Kingdom review. Let's watch it now. I'm going to apologize for apologizing for saying the re-education camp thing. I'm saying that again and standing by it this time. This guy gets the wall. That sure does sound bad, saying he gets the wall, an allusion to execution by firing squad. Why would I say something like that? Well, here's the full clip, including the context that prompted my response.
And Riju's a Gerudo, and if you've seen any of their Rule 34, you know they're usually sporting a little something extra.
He's saying that in some Rule 34, which is—
I mean, Synthetic Man's a freak. We can all agree on this.
Gamer for,
what do you mean?
Some Gerudo are portrayed with a phallus. And because he has seen so much porn that it has completely rotted his brain. That's the only explanation for this behavior. I'm going to apologize for apologizing for saying the re-education camp thing. I'm saying that again and standing by it this time. This guy gets the wall. Okay, that's pretty heinous, but maybe you still think my gets the wall comment was a little bit much. I mean, Synthetic Man would never—
Wait, him talking about porn is heinous?
No, they're rebuttal to Synthetic Man.
No.
So they're about to make a point.
No. They don't call that heinous. They're calling what Synthetic Man said heinous. Listen to it again.
Standing by it this time.
Replay it.
Listen to it again.
This guy gets the wall. Okay, that's pretty heinous, but maybe you still think my gets the wall comment was a little bit much. I mean—
So,
I think they're talking about their own comment.
No, you're being retarded. Shut up for a second. Listen to the way the sentence is structured. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Listen to the way the sentence is structured. Beginning first half of sentence. Yeah, so that was heinous, comma. But maybe you think my gets the wall comment is still a little bit much.
Yeah.
Okay? So two separate ideas there. Heinous, referring to Synthetic Man. And then the but, the conjunction of but, which denotes a separate thought here. Maybe you still think that my comment's a little too much.
Yeah, they're about to justify it in a second, so...
I know they're talking about two different things,
really
but they're saying they already just did justify it by trying to say that Synthetic Man's saying terrible things, which he was saying weird gooner shit, but I don't think he was saying anything evil.
Well, as the guy who's seen this video, they're about to show a gay clip of Synthetic Man right after that, so.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Synthetic Man would never say something like that.
Stop. Nobody says bigotry except subhumans. People who should be executed, every single one of them, without exception. They need to face the wall.
Two wrongs don't make a right? Sure, I can respect that. Either way, I haven't used language like that since, so let's just call it even and move on.
Yes, you have. What the fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's like, I mean, Kitten Screaming said it. I've said it so many times on stream. It's, again, this thing of, like, you have to hold the standard both ways. You have to hold the standard both ways. If you're going to be, you know, Miss Dark Humor and you're going to be all edgy and stuff, you have to hold the standard both ways. So, like,
well, wait,
you
isn't
know,
it also just blatantly false? Because, like, okay, so the get the wall comment, yes, bad. Didn't we literally just go over their Charlie Kirk thing, like, about, like, saying, can we get an anniversary? Dude, this is like he's dying all over again.
Yes.
It's like,
well, technically, that's not calling for someone's death, I suppose. So it's different. Haha.
Yeah, he just wants to sorry, they just want to celebrate it again.
Yeah, exactly.
To recap, I didn't send Boobly into Octo's Discord, and he wasn't inflammatory towards anyone except for the one guy who he knew was the creator of my Kiwi Farms thread. It's worth noting that Octo knew from the start who this guy was and chose to keep him around, not because he enjoyed his company, but simply because he figured his incessant ramblings would be better off contained in his Discord than left to fester online. How do I know this? Well, I talked to him about it. While I was working on my Gerudo video, I watched Octo's Wind Waker review, and frankly, I hated it. I have my own criticisms towards Wind Waker. It's not my favorite Zelda game, but I thought his video about it was genuinely awful. I wanted to react to it live on stream and tear it apart, which I would have been fully within my rights to do, but it didn't feel great to unnecessarily stir up additional drama with Octo, especially since the Wind Waker video had nothing to do with me or our feud. So I reached out to him to ask if I could react to it, and he expressed hesitation, which, fair, especially since friend of the channel and now famous ex-boyfriend Walter Wide had gotten on Octo's case about a strange line in his Wind Waker video that goes as follows.
I think it makes sense that she, as a ruthless pirate captain, would have zero sense of empathy or remorse. How else would a young woman manage to command the respect of an entire crew of men while out at sea, where no laws or social customs can possibly protect her?
Walt asserted on Twitter that this was Octo arguing that Wind Waker was poorly written because the pirate crew would have assaulted Tetra. Octo claims that
that's obviously not what's being said. We've already talked about this, but very clearly what's being said, I mean, Octo said it himself, is that this is about the fact that, like, obviously the pirate crew would have every incentive to kill the fucking random child who's the fucking, like, captain of the ship. Like, yes, it's extremely obvious what this means. Shocker.
that line didn't imply sexual violence, but rather mutiny. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's very difficult to have a conversation about authorial intent when one of the parties is literally the author, but I will say that pirate mutiny was actually relatively uncommon historically. If the line had gone something like, how else would a young pirate captain keep her crew in line, it would have still been shaky in terms of historicity, but it wouldn't have been creepy.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have been shaky. It's a little girl who's like 2 feet tall. You dumb fucking retard. Nothing about this is historical. What do you mean? Wait. We're talking about history and we're talking about legends. Okay. All right. Okay. So two things. If we're going to do the history route, sure. If we're going to do it, then we're going to need to start being a little bit literal. This is a 2 foot tall little girl with 6 foot tall male pirates. I see nothing wrong with what he said here. I'm not implying rape at all. I'm just saying, why wouldn't they slit this little girl's throat? Okay? If she's going to try to, like, be a fucking captain and everything, why wouldn't they mutiny and, like, leave her on an abandoned island? Right? But then even beyond that, I mean, this is just so fucking stupid. What do you mean it's shaky on historical terms? Yeah, you know what? You're right, it's shaky on historical terms because a little fucking girl wouldn't be a pirate captain. How about that? There's the shakiness.
Well, first, I also even accept this as a reality because Skitty tried to make the point that mutiny was uncommon. Would that also, even if we're accepting that at face value, would that mean that raping captains was more common than mutiny?
On top of that, you know, there's a very, you know, decent historical reasoning why mutiny may have not been talked about as much, you know, in terms of historical bullshit, and it's because the captain probably wouldn't have lived. I mean, you know, in a lot of cases of mutinies, they just throw the fucking captain overboard and they're never going to speak about it again. And from there on out, the captain was so-and-so, unless they're a famous captain.
This is like people
and people notice that they're missing.
Accuracy in the Odyssey
Thank you for the
and
5.
Trojan War. Two things that did not actually happen.
Correct.
Mind you, this is the same video where he claims the Gerudo kidnap Link so they can sexually assault him, complete with that infamous Riju image, and where he dedicates several minutes.
Okay, so one more time with this one, if we're talking about accuracy to the games, it's literally like essentially canon that the way that they reproduce is by raping little dudes that they get. Okay, so like I don't know.
No, it's consensual.
Yeah,
They
but it's
rizzed them up.
consensual. They like Riz or whatever, sure. But like, regardless, this is not beyond the, like that's within the canon. So that was already bad faith as an explanation. But let's hear what your other
So they
thing.
can sexually assault him, complete with that infamous Riju image, and where he dedicates several minutes to wondering aloud about whether the Kokiri have sex. Him specifying that Tetra is a young woman
cares?
commanding a group of men, his line about laws and social customs does lend itself to Walt's reading. But if Octo says he didn't mean to imply sexual violence, well, that's sort of the end of the conversation. So anyway,
should be.
Octo and I agreed to have a longer conversation.
Wait. You say that's the end of the conversation, and yet it was the Walter White guy who was like continuously insisting it was rape and wouldn't make it the stop of the conversation. Whose fault is that? Like, why are you blaming Octo for that?
To come to some sort of understanding, which happened a few days later in the form of a 2.5
Do you want to speak on voice call, or is DMing more preferable for you? It's really up to you. I'm comfortable either way. Perhaps a voice call then. We've only ever known each other through text, so maybe communicating verbally will allow us to understand each other better and hear a tone of voice. I feel like it's the biggest problem with Twitter. Haha. Agreed, that's fine by me. I have to go in about 2.5 hours, but I seriously doubt we'll need that long. Yeah, probably. Give me 5 minutes to get my computer and I'll call you. I'm ready for whenever, so give me a call when you're set up.
hour-long call on Discord, in which he was very friendly and apologetic, both for making his Gerudo video in the first place without reaching out to me, and for the harassment I'd received in the aftermath. He assured me that my assumptions about him were wrong. He wasn't a bigot, he grew up in a diverse, liberal community, his best friend is a gay star, and he never did harm. He asked if Walter Wide was an alt of mine, and I explained that he was actually my ex-boyfriend who had been living with me during the early days of working on my Gerudo video. Walt and I kept our relationship private up until Octo decided to reveal, both on Twitter and in his video about me, that we had dated, which, to be clear, is fine. Walt is a good friend of mine, and sometimes you try something that doesn't work out. Neither of us have hard feelings about it, and it's frankly out of line for Octo to wonder aloud why he's still quote-unquote simping for me despite us having broken up. I feel like the obvious answer is because we were friends before.
Probably because it's what's happening. I mean, I feel like it's a valid question. I feel like it also shows like how compromised this guy is. Like, it's not actually necessarily even his opinions. He's simping for you. Like, very clearly.
Before we dated, and we're still friends afterwards. During this call, we also talked about the harassment I'd been dealing with on Twitter, which he apologized for, and I apologized in turn for accusing him of being a racist Gamergator creep in my video. He talked about how difficult it was to have people group him in with a particular political ideology based on the limited information he shares online, and I empathized with that, but reminded him that he has control over what he posts, and that if he never pushes back against far-right talking points, people will be justified in believing he agrees with them. We also talked briefly about him being sponsored by the Dragon's Treasure, an open, unrepentant bigot who we'll talk more about later. Octo laughed nervously when I brought it up, saying
not because he said it, but he's around it.
He is affiliated with someone, and that mean bad.
Dude.
This is so cool. I love this creator. Haha.
He's certainly never going to
I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate gay people? Yeah, literally. It's awesome.
Take a sponsorship without doing a background check
Skitty,
ever again. I wish I pushed him harder on this, but he seemed the Dragon's Treasure was indefensible. The last thing I'll say about this call.
Cancer patients, dude. Do you support doxing cancer patients, Skitty Bitty?
Yeah. Do you support crashing out on
Innocent Domino's employees, Skitty?
Is that as part of it, I told Octo something about myself that I hadn't been public about previously. Our conversation had convinced me that I had misjudged him and that I could trust him with this information, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll come back to this in a few minutes. After our call, we pinned comments under our respective videos reminding our audiences not to harass the other and decided to bury the hatchet. He gave me his blessing to react to any of his videos with the stipulation that Walt be excluded from any such streams. I agree.
Looks good to me, though I don't know if channel is proper noun. Well, thanks. So good to post? Yep, thanks for saying this. I appreciate it a lot. Alright, it's pinned. This was so big of you, Skitty. Thanks for giving me the chance to mend things, and I sincerely appreciate the effort you made to do the same. You're more than welcome to react to any of my content in the future. The only caveat is that I specifically don't want Walter White there for a Wind Waker react due to his horrible comment about the rape fetish thing. Other than that, it's all good.
And we went our separate ways. Octo alludes repeatedly to a truce we made at this point, but there was no such agreement. We didn't need a truce. I simply thought I'd misjudged him, and he was feeling so good after our call that he told his whole Discord server how much fun it was to talk to me, even suggested.
Oh, they were so fun to talk to when we got on about Zelda. I could talk for days about Skit about those games. Lol. Yeah, make a podcast do that. I mean, with how naturally we yapped for 2.5 hours, I could see that being fun.
That we could be on a podcast together. But in the weeks following our call, his posting got increasingly inflammatory until finally, following the reveal of God of War Laufey at the 2026 State of Play, there was a massive backlash with countless right-wing grifters claiming that the protagonist had been deliberately made ugly for some reason. Now, let's stop here for a moment because I'm going to be engaging with this argument briefly, but I do not want to grant the premise. The idea that this character is in any way ugly is ridiculous. Sure, she doesn't look like she's 20 years old, but that's because she's not meant to to be. She's a mother. She's based on an actress in her 40s, and she looks just like her. Octo claims in his video that I got mad because he didn't find her attractive, which is bullshit. I don't care that he's not subjectively attracted to her. I got mad because he
I'm gonna be honest, I think she looks different than the actress. Like, I mean...
I think they had wrinkles or whatever.
Yeah, they added wrinkles. I mean, that would be, like, an uglification. Like, or, you know, I mean, I can see the argument.
Tweeted multiple people complaining about her design and was hanging out in the replies to this post by right-wing Twitter provocateurist Rock Solid, the uglification of art.
Not right-wing Twitter provocateurist Rock Solid! No!
What is this?
Dude, that's when we cue the, I can't believe I used to support this Octorok Reviews guy.
Oh my god, this is disgusting.
And the deliberate agenda being inserted into games. He had a back and forth with someone whose account is unfortunately inaccessible now, but what finally got me to chime in was this tweet, which reads, purposefully making a character look older and less attractive when she's supposed to be a literal goddess and her actress is actually attractive was an attempt to uglify art. It's not a hard concept to grasp. Generally, it's done by people who are insecure about their own looks and wish to make gods and heroes look less attractive in order to make themselves feel better. There are many forms of this and several other motivations, which all intersect. But it's a general problem that's spread in Western artistic pursuits for some time now. Why else do you think Eastern games don't have this problem? This was so ridiculous to me, a human being with eyes, that I quote retweeted it with a photo comparing the in-game model to the actress she's based on and said, how is he not...
They look different. Like, are you actually stupid? Like, do you need glasses? Like, they look very different. They do not look the same. So what's the deal? You say they look identical.
The top left one.
Yeah, the top left one alone is like, that one's bleak, man. Like, what is this?
Deeply embarrassed by this behavior. He replied in his usual nice guy tone, walking back his claim from, this is a deliberate attempt to uglify Western art as a result of the woke agenda, to, I think they could have done a better job with the character model. He said he thought the actors looked prettier in real life.
Yeah, that's not a walk back. That's essentially what he said in the fucking tweet. It's just less hyperbolic. Like, what are you talking about?
And I think he actually like elaborates too. I don't think this.
Well, that's what it is here.
Well, first of all, I do think they captured it well. The model looks like an actress. Second of all, I would appreciate if you would tell me specifically what the model strikes you as less attractive than the woman she's based on.
Maybe this is a camera thing. Makeup and effects are obviously a factor, but she appears physically older, additional lines and wrinkles in the game compared to how she looks in IRL photos. I also think that because the actress has aged almost 10 years since the character's debut and death, using references from that time would make more sense. Additionally, being a goddess, I think she wouldn't age naturally the way that humans do. This is a problem I have with Kratos' 2018 design as well. Lots of other people are making the same observations, or so I thought what I was seeing was accurate. The original creator of God of War, David Jaffe, also has the same opinion. So I don't think this is a me thing. That's just my take anyways.
Pressed him, he admitted that he just meant the new design had new lines and wrinkles that weren't there previously. So now we've gone from the deliberate uglification of Western art to she has some extra wrinkles on her face. And just as a quick reminder, he doesn't show any of this context in his video
yes,
about
that was literally the point that I made before I even saw the tweets themselves. So I like, this is, God, just so insufferable. Like, such a bad, like, dude, the Anthony Gramigula school of responses clearly taught you well.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, are we really going to say the misogyny point? Like, the guy even said I have the same issue with Kratos as well. So clearly it's not just a...
It's not a woman-centered issue.
Yeah, like, it's happening to all the characters. Like, the fuck?
Right. It's fucking stupid.
He just claims that I imply he's a misogynist for no reason, and not because he claimed that a 40-year-old woman having...
Okay, so...
He just claims that I imply he's a misogynist...
I object to the idea that older equals less attractive. Gods have been depicted as middle-aged or older for ages. I don't see any issue with how she looks, and I think having hand-wringing about ugliness belies a really sinister way of thinking and looking about women. How is this not you trying to...
looks the same?
Well, and also, how is this not you trying to depict Octorok as sexist? How? At all? How?
Yeah.
Very clearly it is.
Yeah. For no reason, and not because he claimed that a 40-year-old woman having some wrinkles on her face is the product of some nefarious Western plot to uglify art. He never replied to this tweet. At this point, I think a fair question for people who are critical of me in the situation would be, who cares? There are plenty of chuds on the internet. Why fixate on this one? Why keep up with what he's saying? And, frankly, I shouldn't have. This exchange should have been sufficient reason to disengage and move on with my life. That would have been the mature thing to do. But if I can be honest, I felt betrayed. Octo had convinced me during our call that his intentions...
Oh,
shut up. Shut up. My God.
Were good. He wasn't some sort
Fucking
of culture
miserable.
warrior or bigot, but here he was, participating in a right-wing outrage campaign plucked straight out of 2016. So I'm not afraid to admit that I stayed plugged into this shit show for longer than I should have. But yet again, what I've described so far is very different from the months-long harassment campaign Octo would like you to believe I've been perpetuating all on my own. What actually happens is Octo makes a statement that I think is dumb in a public forum. I respond, rinse and repeat. At the risk of sounding condescending, that's the entire point of Twitter.
Well,
the last
actually,
thing
hold
that
on,
I'll say about
pause.
the law.
When he makes a dumb take publicly, that's not engaging with you. That's not breaking.
It has nothing to do with you.
Like that's stupid as fuck.
You dumb fucking self-insert. It has nothing to do with you, and you take it upon yourself to talk about it and make it, you know, self-insert. Like, I mean, it's just like fucking retarded. It's so stupid. Like,
discourse is that the same day I quote retweeted Octo, I also quote the following. Unprivating, just to say, imagine being pregnant for 9 months and going through childbirth just to have your fuck-ass son grow up to call women hags online and throw temper tantrums over the mere presence of an attractive female protagonist who doesn't look like she's 20. This tweet was not specifically about Octorok Reviews.
oh, shut up. Oh my God, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. It is so clearly for Octo. If it wasn't about Octo, I don't think you would unprivate, to be honest. I just find that very doubtful, personally.
Was a buzz of people giving their takes on this discourse. And as Octo correctly pointed out in his own video, he's never called a woman a hag, quote-unquote, unironically. Instead of coming to the reasonable conclusion, then, that this tweet wasn't about him, he uses it as an example of me allegedly
bringing my family into things.
Which is such an obviously ridiculous accusation that I cannot
that was
believe
stupid.
people are confronting me with it unironically. This is a post about man-children online being misogynistic weirdos, and there were countless people who fit that description. His assertion.
So they're going to complain about, like, let's be good faith for a second, right? Like, let's just give, benefit of the doubt. Let's say Octorok, assumed this was about him. They're complaining about this when they assume that Octorok retweeted something. It's like, oh, that's about me. They're making fun of me.
Yep.
This is so stupid. Such a hypocritical little bitch.
She decides that everything's about her when it's Octorok doing it, but when it's Skitty doing it, it's insane for Octorok to have assumed that it was about him.
That this was specifically about him, that this post constitutes bringing his mother into the discourse, and even claiming that people jokingly saying there's still time.
None of the tweets necessitated you to try to get his Twitter taken down and tagging it in your Discord, and yet you did that. So I don't know.
Abortion, or I brought you into this world and now I'm going to take you out, are making threats on his life, are a colossal reach at best and deliberately dishonest at worst. Octo didn't block me after the Laffy debacle, by the way. He actually blocked me after I responded to him criticizing a video about plagiarism by famous YouTuber HBomberGuy with this tweet, teasing him about a sentence in his Gerudo video that is worded suspiciously similarly to a sentence in
Oh, come on!
With this tweet, teasing him about a sentence in his Gerudo video that is worded suspiciously similarly to a sentence in my Tears of the Kingdom critique. Ganondorf pieces out, and Riju has the only intelligent thought in the entire game.
And honestly, there are whole scenes in this game where she's the only character who articulates an even decently intelligent thought.
Was this an example of me instigating? Yes. Was it that?
Dude, we both think that she's smart. Thanks, man. Really cool.
Serious? No. I specifically said that I didn't think it was a big deal, and if I had, I would have brought it up in my video. But he didn't seem to think.
Let's see.
No. I specifically.
You just committed the same mistake he did, which is you taking a singular similar phrase shared between two works and calling it plagiarism. Obviously, my Gerudo video isn't a plagiarized work of your Tears of the Kingdom video, and you know that. I mean, if I thought it was a big deal, I would have brought it up in my response video. I think it's funny to see you railing against the plagiarism video of all things when you're reheating other people's nachos. So you are accusing him of plagiarism. That is what you're doing here. You are often reheating other people's nachos. That's you backpedaling away from it, but still asserting this plagiarism claim. Then why would you even apply something like that if you know it isn't plagiarism? Do you understand how reckless that is? You genuinely need to be more careful in the future with these things. It's called dark humor, liberal. You should Google it sometime. Falsely accusing another content creator of plagiarism isn't dark humor. It's gross, unprofessional, and unhinged. Agreed. And being so dishonest about it that when you're, when it's like, why would you do this? You're basically like, well, I'm not saying that you're plagiarizing. I'm just saying that you're plagiarizing. Phrases it in a different way with the same meaning. Great. Yeah, great. That makes so much sense. That actually makes it so much better, guys.
It was very funny, and he blocked me. That's his prerogative. This is another point at which I should have disengaged, but at this point, it felt like a train wreck that I couldn't tear my eyes away from. Whether it was retweeting people unironically doing the Pokemon is for boys, which is why no one likes me.
Great. Okay.
Wow, incredible.
Ganium shtick, celebrating mass layoffs at Bungie, or retweeting this post about the ultimate redemption of degenerate Hyrule posted by Twitter user PragerU1488. Yes, really. He just seemed to keep getting worse. Lest you think this is the point at which things become completely one-sided, by the way, Octo can.
By the way, this person hates Kiwi Farms. This person hates Kiwi Farms, and yet Skitty essentially had like an Octorok thread in her mind. Okay? Like, literally was A-logging the ever-living fuck out of Octorok. Okay? Calling him, you know, a pedophile supporter, calling him a plagiarist, calling him every name under the book. But then when Kiwi Farms does it, it's not because it's Kiwi Farms, keep in mind. Well, it is because it's a, you know, it's an issue that I can use to, like, twist around politically. But the real reason is because it's against Skitty. That's the real reason. It's always going to be a racist chud as long as it's against Skitty. That's what it is.
Dude, this literally just reads as, even they're kind of lightly admitting it without even realizing. It's like they get slighted once and then they just start
obsessively A-logging. Yes.
Yeah, I just couldn't look away. It was like a train wreck.
Yeah,
you're just using as like just doom scrolling the guy's Twitter to find anything.
To post about me both directly and indirectly multiple times from the end of May to the beginning.
All right, let's see what these posts are apparently alluding to you. If the slander being said about me was enough to make you unfollow, can you at least do the force unfollow too? Lamau, the idea of hating me but still keeping me around as an extra follower is sending me. I know some of y'all real hard up for numbers, but damn. Wait, they don't just block you out of nowhere with no explanation? Guess your former oop is less considerate than mine was.
I can say that's a vague thing. I don't know the real context, but
maybe, I suppose.
You to post about me both directly.
So let me share some personal experience. I was blocked by a larger creator I had interacted with out of nowhere. I was a bit confused at the time as to why that was, but then a week later they unblocked me. I thought, I guess they had a crash out moment, okay? 4 months later, they published a giant hit piece on me and I've been harassing me constantly since. So the morals of the story is, do not trust someone like that. I foolishly tried to understand and make peace with that person and it never worked. It just shows, if someone shows you who they are, believe them. What's wrong with this though? I feel like at that point, by this time, it was pretty justified, but whatever.
And indirectly,
well, I found my new clipper, and it's, you know, a Glaceon with a an icy. No, it's a Glaceon with a job application. I'm amazed how seriously some people take dirty jokes. I made a couple ones in my video of mine and had some dipshit try to paint it as some sort of serious offense that, like, nah, buddy, sometimes we just do comedy over here. That actually is not about you, Skitty. It's about Blue Bull or whatever the fuck his stupid name is. Okay? That actually has nothing to do with you. Okay?
Multiple times from the end of May.
These fuckers can't even let us have an opinion about a stupid movie without thinking about killing us. Lol, I got called Hitler because of my opinion on the movie. These people are crazy and actually want you dead. Don't ever forget it. That actually also has nothing to do with Skitty.
Yeah, what opinion on it? Like, what movie, lol? What? Like,
it's about the Odyssey.
Nothing in the
it's about the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
again,
nothing in the Skitty genre
Skitty never said that. So unless you're tacitly admitting to calling him a Nazi over nothing, that's not what happened. But okay.
To the beginning of July, and it was at that point, just under 2 weeks ago, that things completely blew up. Two things happened on the morning of July 11th. First, Octo was complaining about Orientalism discourse again.
Okay.
Because people think ethnic costumes are racist for some reason. Hold on.
In the replies to
oh my god, stop! I hate it when it does this. I'm just trying to move the fucking subtitles. Thank you. Okay, because people think ethnic costumes are racist for some reason instead of a celebration of the ethnicity and culture they came from. It's Orientalism. Orientalism isn't about celebrating anything. It's about ignorance. Octorok says, I like how you people make up a word in the 70s to describe a completely normal phenomenon that applies to literally all foreign cultures across time and use it to justify your desires to fuck with video games made by Japanese people. What a complete waste of academic funding. Okay.
Wait, what did Octorok mean by you people?
The point here is, what does that have to do with Skitty? Again, nothing.
Costumes in Mario Kart World, he said, I like how you people made up a word in the 70s to describe a completely normal phenomenon.
He's talking about liberals, by the way.
All foreign cultures across time and use it to justify your desire to fuck with video games made by Japanese people. What a complete waste of academic funding. I screenshotted this and posted it with the caption, he's going so far out of his way to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was never a discussion he was even remotely capable of having at all, let alone in good faith. He never addressed this. The thing he latched onto was that I quote retweeted a now infamous Rock Solid post about having sex with roadkill with a screenshot of Octo's glad to have you back tweet from when Rock was unbanned a couple months prior. My point was not to literally suggest Octo endorsed this take, just to highlight that Octo's a big fan of this weirdo, retweets him constantly.
Okay.
constantly and is openly friendly with him. Octo claims I maliciously edited the date out of this tweet to make it look like he agreed with Rock here, which is silly because this is a mobile screenshot. The date's under the tweet, but whatever. If he had an issue with the post, I wasn't gonna fight him on it. I took it down. At this point, some people in my comments were like, why are you tweeting about this guy so much?
He's had issues with things you've said in the past and you haven't taken it down. So in my opinion, the real reason you took it down is because you know that it was a malicious framing, right? Come on, let's just be real. Let's just be honest.
Which, fair question, so in response, I quote the following. The thing is, if Octo would simply stop posting racist and creepy shit, I would have no reason to pick on him. If, after our call, he introspected a bit and moved away from reactionary politics and...
Haven't seen anything racist. So you said this, but throughout this video, I've not seen any examples of racist or creepy shit. So I'm still confused by this opinion.
The culture war and focus on his interests, I would have nothing against him. But no, in the months since my video, he's retreated into his right-wing echo chamber to lick his wounds and complain to anyone who will listen about how the West has fallen and how Orientalism was invented to ruin video games or whatever.
Okay, where's the West has fallen? We did see Orientalism in one tweet, acting like it's the only thing he talks about, but like still.
Yeah, I think they're trying to loop in the God of War thing as the West has fallen, with the whole like uglification.
So gay. Oh my god.
Been totally captured, and it's sad. The thread ends with me quote retweeting one of Octo's followers who called the Gerudo sand
this was so gay.
And saying,
because this person follows Octorok, they automatically love. Octorok is best friends with them, by the way, because they follow Octorok and are not followed back. And so they're a good representation of Octorok's entire audience, because that's how it works, guys. That's how it works.
These are your people now.
You know what's amazing?
I hope it was worth it.
So far, from my memory, they don't address this, but they've been painting themselves as like a victim a lot. I don't think that they address the whole turning Octo into their lolcow thing.
I highly doubt they would.
Because that would destroy the victim narrative, right? Like that.
Yeah.
It's like that's so stupid.
Also, would defeat the narrative that, well, it would go against the narrative of, oh, I deleted my Twitter because of all of like the mean comments and people coming after me, despite me somehow winning and turning this person into a lolcow. And it's like what the narrative I'm always pushing is whatever feels good and feels like it could benefit me in that moment.
Yes. Right. Yeah. This is all just
so weird. Bruh, there is something I gotta mention this because I saw this and I was like, these people are so like
these people?
They're so fucked in the head. I tell you, they were like, hey, I'm out with my girlfriend and having a fun time and like we went to the museum or something like that. And it's just insane that people are just so fixated on this while I'm having a good time. I browsed down, I literally just scroll down. This person's been posting about Octorok nonstop every like hour, constantly talking and making posts. Like, I don't believe you. Like, if you had a life outside of the internet and they're also trying to paint people as losers for engaging with it.
No, I'm going to be honest.
If you actually have that life, why don't you just live it? Why are you just posting?
I'm going to be honest, Remnant. I think it's way better when you take their claim completely seriously, because what they're saying is, I've been out at the movies, I've been hanging out with my friends, and instead of actually spending substantial time with them, I'm on my phone tweeting about Octorok. That's so much better. That's so much better, right? They're just such a miserable, just pathetic person that they can't even effectively spend time with their friends. They always have to be on their phone.
They enjoy their own time now, yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like...
Quote retweeted the first post in that thread saying, so let me get this straight. You came out of our call expecting me to just never have an opinion you didn't agree with ever again. Are you actually stupid? How many posts glorifying the assassination of political figures have you made? How many times have you called America evil? How many times have you reposted the destroy the white race meme? Do you think I agree with any of that? Of course not. But I tolerated your stupid opinions because at the end of the day you had a right to hold them. But then you saw me post about God of fucking war of all things, and that was a step too far from you. After all the crazy shit you post, you have no capacity for self-reflection whatsoever. This post is a good segue to a couple of the more dishonest accusations Octo made against me in this video. One, that I glorified the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and two, that I'm racist against white people because I reposted a meme making...
So you absolutely glorified the assassination of Charlie Kirk, indisputably. But okay. I'm racist against white people because I reposted a meme making...
One of the ridiculous great replacement...
Okay, so one more time here. You did this multiple times and tripled down on it. But okay.
Conspiracy theory, and furthermore, because I claim there's no such thing as white...
Yeah, so if Skitty Bitty doesn't believe in the concept of like the white race, they should logically have no issue if you just say Skitty Bitty just has some malicious, murderous intentions with white people every time they see them cross the street.
Correct.
Like, logically, they should be like, yeah, I have no issue with that because they're not real.
Yeah. I mean, that was the defense against, you know, the whole thing. Like, why it was okay for them to say destroy the white race, because the white race isn't real, so racism against white people doesn't exist. So say that here, Skitty.
Yeah, so logically, because I know Skitty's being a little dishonest with this. I hate when people do this. It's a little, yeah.
I hate your habit where you say a little when it's never a little, ever. You say a little all the time, and it just never applies. Like, it's always
because I've
like,
seen worse, Templeton.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this person like raped the woman a little bit. And it's like, okay, yeah, great, man.
I've seen worse, Templeton. I've seen worse. That's why.
But that doesn't mean it's a little.
This person's being fine. This person's being extremely malicious. We both know what we're talking about when it comes to a white person, and they are being intellectually dishonest when they're like, "Well, those aren't even real. Those aren't even real."
I'm like,
they know.
No, wait, wait. Let me find the fucking video, because wait. Let me actually just play the. You know that video of Hannibal looking at his hands.
Yeah.
Wait, let me find it. Wait. This is me when Skitty tells me that white people aren't real. Let me find the part. I think it's right here. It's got to be the most played part. Okay, yeah, here it is. Well, chuds, I guess I'm not real.
Starts to fade away a little bit.
I've just been AI generated the entire time. Well, chuds, I guess I'm not real.
Yeah, Hippleton was a little fake. It's okay.
Like, what is this?
What's going on here? I just got back. I had to take, like, there was a tree frog and everything I had to take care of.
Well, apparently white people aren't real, so I was fading into the dust.
Well, if white people aren't real, black people aren't either.
Race is a social construct? Question mark.
Real. Which
if
is true. The idea of whiteness is an arbitrary category.
Black people.
Then nothing is real.
Defined by exclusion. Different people have been considered white at different points in history, like Irish people or Italians. When people talk about white genocide, they're not talking about an actual campaign of mass murder. They're talking about interracial marriage. When far-right...
Okay. Wait.
Is it?
Wait, no. Who's no, everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody shut the fuck up. I have a fire point here. So, Skitty, you are downplaying, which is, you know, I'm not necessarily going to take issue with this part of it. You're downplaying the concept of white genocide. How would you feel if I brought up the concept of trans genocide? Because I know for a fact you'd be very angry, right? If I was just saying, well, I mean, it's not like, you know, like if I just said like a very downplaying sort of like hand wavy statement where I'm like, well, it's not like, you know, when somebody says trans genocide, we're not talking about trans people getting killed, like murdered in the street. You'd be like,
don't you get it, Chud? Trans people are an oppressed minority and have no systemic power, and you can't say those things. And if you say there's a trans genocide, I actually do have the power to commit a trans genocide. I, as a minority, don't have the power over you to do anything when I say those things. Like when feminists say #KillAllMen. By the way, it's incredibly racist and an evil dog whistle to say things like it's okay to be white. But when I say #KillAllMen, that's perfectly peaceful and rational, and you just don't get the deeper meaning, Chud.
Oh, okay.
That's literally their entire argument.
Well, I guess I learned something today.
Freaks talk about the white race coming under threat. They're talking about white people having kids with people of color. Likewise, when far left people talk about destroying whiteness, they're talking about dismantling the arbitrary power structures that are set up to oppress people who fall outside the also arbitrary category of white. Notably, neither of these definitions of destroying the white race include actual calls for violence. This is an accusation based on innuendo and not understanding
North
things.
Korea is built up by white power.
Me when also like the concept of the meme itself is that you're going over to Ganondorf to literally kill him and like destroy him, but then it has no like violent charge to it. It's like okay.
But okay, what about Charlie Kirk? I mean, he straight up says I justified his murder, but let's look at these screenshots
you did.
He presented as evidence. The image on the left reads, "When we decline to speak ill of the dead, it's because we have compassion for the living. In this respect, I'm sorry."
That's not the only thing that you said, but okay.
Kirk's children. If he was, that does little to mitigate the damage he did to other people's children. This is an excerpt from an article from The Nation called "Charlie Kirk's Legacy Deserves No Mourning," pointing out that Charlie Kirk was not, as Octo claims, a milquetoast conservative figure, but a far-right agitator.
I called it. I said that would happen. Because I said that was a really stupid line. He shouldn't have said that.
I hate to admit it too, because this guy, like the thing that people brought up for Charlie Kirk was also that he was literally calling for like Biden to get assassinated, right? Like that clip was resurfacing after he got like killed, and people were making hypocrisy points off of it. That's not milquetoast. That is a call to action. Be like, dude, this guy needs to be killed. Like that.
Also, the whole thing of like, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot here there.
A Christian nationalist, and as the screenshot says,
What
an
if I told
unrepentant
you
racist,
I view
transphobe,
Charlie
homophobe.
Kirk as a moderate right-wing guy?
Well, that, I mean, it's just incorrect. Like, it's just not true.
What? But you would
She sounds
believe
like
me
it's
if
the
I said it.
Jijiaki, and I can't
No,
unhear it.
I mean, I would believe you. I believe that you believe that, but I would also
Yeah.
know that you're wrong. You know what I mean? Thank you for the two, by the way.
They don't know a real right-wiener until they run into me.
A right wiener?
Yeah.
Why did
a
you say
real
that?
Rightoid.
You said you're a right wiener. Why did you
That's
say
the way
that?
I speak. Fuck you.
Okay, dude. Yeah, whatever.
No,
I don't believe you. Yeah, they've never seen a real white white wiener.
They haven't seen a real white man until they run into me.
They haven't seen a real right wiener until they've seen me. Okay, dude.
So
That sounds like a visceral
honestly,
rape
I
threat,
kinda cooked
personally,
myself
but
there.
okay.
I'll be honest. I did cook myself there.
Interesting. Yeah. They want to see my.
I
they want to. I'm a right winger, and they want to see my right wiener. Okay.
Full of misogynist. The point of this article is that Charlie
No,
Kirk
they wanna
being dead
take
does
away
not
my
mean we have to whitewash his
right wiener.
legacy and pretend. Saying we don't need
My
to
right
pretend
to
someone was a
wiener.
good person just because they were murdered is obviously not the same thing as justifying their murder. This post
Hold on. Show what you said again.
to whitewash his legacy and pretend he was some sort of saint. Saying we don't need to pretend someone was a good person.
Okay, so you're not showing what you said.
Wait,
when are you going to do
just
that?
because they were murdered is
I wanna see what
obviously
she
not
said.
the same
Skitty
thing
Bitty
as
think of George Floyd.
No, this is the exact point that I made, Remnant. I was like, I guarantee you wouldn't be laughing or thinking it's a funny joke, lame meme joke, if I did the exact same thing with somebody like George Floyd, if I did the exact same thing with somebody like
George Floyd.
if I
and
did it with
still get
anyone.
offended with Charlie Kirk and be morally consistent because George Floyd was a piece of shit.
Well, let's say I did it with somebody who would be an equivalent example, right? Like, even if there was an equivalent example of, like, let's say a controversial but, still good person on the left who, or not even necessarily good person because that's subjective, but, like, let's say a controversial person on the left.
People on the left don't exist.
Okay, buddy. A controversial person on the left, right? And my whole thing that I do is that they were murdered in broad daylight in front of their children, whatever, and so I make a joke about them. Like, I guarantee that energy would not be held both ways, just from the sheer amount of hypocrisy that I've seen throughout this video,
justifying their murder. This post doesn't say what Octo's claiming it does.
That's not the post that one is talking about, and you know that too. So show your post.
The other screenshot is a cartoon showing the difference in treatment of MSNBC analyst Matthew Dowd, who was fired for criticizing Charlie Kirk's history of hate speech, pointing out that awful words can lead to awful actions, and Fox News host Brian Kilmeade, who suggested that homeless people ought to be euthanized. Dowd was fired for his comments, while Kilmeade simply apologized and got right back to work. The point of this cartoon is not that Charlie Kirk's murder was justified, nor was that even the point Dowd was making. The point is that some people are treated by the media as more human, more deserving of life and dignity than others. So no, neither of these posts constitute me justifying Charlie Kirk's murder. As for this post, yes, it was very funny.
So let's read it one more time, guys. Let's read it one more time. This is awesome, actually. I've seen discourse about making fun of Charlie Kirk all over the timeline today. It's like he died again. Can we do this on a regular basis?
Hear Skitty Bitty make a funny George Droid joke.
How Charlie Kirk assassinated started trending as a news topic on a random Thursday for no reason, months after it actually happened, complete with the exact same discourse that accompanied his actual assassination. Does this post make light of Kirk's assassination? Sure, you can argue that. Does it justify or endorse it? No. Oh, and as for the random guy who sent Octo an image of Charlie Kirk getting shot, I obviously—
What? Oh, thank God.
George Droid is not dead. I activated his fed reactor to full capacity.
Thank God. Thank you for doing that, Slash. I'm so glad that George Droid's still alive.
He's back with us.
Thank God. Cool. Thank you for the 5.
Don't condone that. I don't know this person, and they're certainly not acting on my behalf.
We brought him back
Coming
with
back to this
AI.
post by Octo, when I woke up the next morning,
You know what's so interesting about that, Skitty? You say that person didn't act on your behalf or anything, but the through line of that person being through your discourse and all of that is more consistent than the through line of you acting like random people calling you a sand N-word, like after a different tweet of yours blows up, not because of Octorok, and blaming that on Octorok. Like, less of a through line than this one, but okay.
This person, and they're certainly not acting on my behalf. Coming back to this post by Octo, when I woke up the next morning, it had kind of blown up, and my mentions were flooded by people calling me an anti-white racist, calling me a pedo, slinging slurs at me. I got a DM telling me to kill myself. Suffice it to say, I was very overwhelmed.
Being called a pedophile falsely.
Yeah, being called a pedophile falsely. You have no experience with that, right, Skitty?
Yeah, also, just,
Right,
spoiler alert, they don't address that at all. So
don't address the fact that they pedo jacket Octorok.
Nope, they don't.
Very cool.
And it was in this state of distress that I did something I shouldn't have done. I sent an @everyone ping to my Discord server and asked them to report Octo for harassment. This was stupid and impulsive of me to do, and I apologize. I feel lucky that my community was mature enough to not actually follow through on this instruction, and Octo didn't lose access to his account, nor was he brigaded.
How do you know that none of them did?
They checked their history.
Just because the account wasn't taken down doesn't mean nobody submitted reports. It had like 20 reactions. I think the odds are pretty good.
By my fans. The only reason people even know about the @everyone message, by the way, is because some washed-up right-wing drama tuber paid to access my server and distributed the screenshot. He didn't know what exactly he...
If it weren't for that guy, they would have never known... Well, Remnant, you're just not getting it. If it weren't for that evil, harmful opinions, they would have never known that I did this bad thing. So it would be kind of like I never did the bad thing, if you think about it. And that would make me doing the bad thing actually okay, because nobody would know that I did the bad thing. Right? If I rape someone in the forest, does it even make a sound?
Wow.
You know? That's the logic we're using here. That's the logic we're using here, ladies and gentlemen. If I, sex tort Ace in my private server and nobody finds out about it, is it fine that I did that because nobody knows? Like, I just don't understand this. Like, by this kind of logic, this is the kind of logic that let Jimmy Savile get away with it until he was dead. Okay?
Okay.
So, big cheers to that one, Skitty. Great job. Great job. Really proud of you.
You're fucking sweeping for Jimmy Savile, you fucking sweeping for Jimmy!
Decided to comb through my Discord. He just had some gut feeling that something was off. Despite admitting that my server is actively moderated, fully safe for work, and didn't contain anything he found objectionable, he still decided to pearl clutch over there being an optional role that people under the age of 18 can use to identify themselves.
Okay, Skitty, if you believe that it's pearl clutching, can you explain why Harmful Opinions brought that up? Let's hear.
This is a common practice in some Discord servers, as it makes it easier for moderators to look out for potentially problematic interactions, and it also helps adults in a mix.
It was a common practice to, hang black people from trees back in the day. That doesn't make it a good thing. Okay? So I'm making a point here. Every single, argument that Skitty has used so far is just terrible. It's like, oh, well, people wouldn't have known about it. Terrible argument. Well, it's a common practice. Common practice doesn't mean good practice. Oh, well, it's like, these are terrible arguments. These are just stupid excuses that don't make any sense. And I guarantee that Skitty is not going to talk about what Harmful actually said. I guarantee it.
Next age setting, tailor the tone of conversation to ensure things stay appropriate for all ages. Of the over 300 people in my Discord, only 9 people had this role. But the line this guy and then eventually Octo ran...
Well, you want to know what those 9 people are? You should rename that role to all-you-can-eat buffet, because that's what they look like to a fucking pedophile. That's what you should rename that role to. All-you-can-eat buffet. All right? Because that's what you're saying. You are signaling to pedophiles, hey, this is where the minors are. This is who the minors are. You can selectively pick them off, just like that little monster from the fucking Odyssey who, picks off the sailors. That's what you're signaling, okay? That's why it's a bad thing. That's what Harmful even says. He gets into that. But you're using this bad faith bullshit to act like he pedo-jacketed you when you're the only person who's pedo-jacketed anyone in this entire situation. Why is that? Why is that?
And with was that I was commanding an army of child soldiers to harass people I disagree with, which is, of course, very funny in how absurdly dramatic and self-serious it is, but the accusation it represents is that I'm in some way endangering minors by simply having them in my server. I categorically...
Correct, you are, by not only putting them in your server, but literally, again, giving them a minor label, and he explicitly explained why it's a problem, and you are deliberately ignoring that for this video. You are a bad faith piece of shit. You are Anthony Gramigula plushie mode, okay? It's just, there's no way around it, right? She thinks it's okay for her and her friends to be kids' internet uncles, so who knows how long it would take for her to notice someone grooming a child in the server. Great point, too. She thinks that there's nothing wrong with these older people being, influences and friends with these children. So yeah, I mean, it would be pretty easy to kind of miss, you know, a kid and an adult getting a little bit too close because, oh well, I'm just helping them out of their homophobic, you know, households. You know, Skitty, maybe this child should live with me so I can get them out of their homophobic household. They'll be embraced here, you know.
Categorically reject this notion. Every space online that doesn't feature some sort of draconian age verification system will inevitably have minors in it. As a former lonely teenager, I owe so much—
Wait, a draconian? Hold on. Draconian age verification. Why are you painting age verification like it's such an evil, terrible thing? That's just very strange.
Verification system
okay.
will inevitably have minors in it. As a former lonely teenager, I owe so much to the adults who were patient with me and fostered safe environments online where I could be myself as I dealt with the struggles of—
And yeah, I got groomed, but it was only once.
Growing up. People don't magically become full-fledged human beings the moment they turn 18. Teenagers are people too. I think anyone making sweeping statements about what will keep kids safe is being inherently dishonest.
Guys, teenagers are people too. And they need love and sex.
Who said anything? Okay, first off, who denied the personhood of teenagers, though?
No
like,
one.
I guess
Fucking
I missed that part.
No one. No one. Because all of this is just straw men. This is all straw men. This entire section about harmful is just straw men. Like, it's so fucking stupid. It is so clear. This is, okay, guys, here is, you know, Professor Hempleton's class on how to spot a bad faith video. Number one easiest sign of somebody being bad faith about a video, you know you should watch a video made by the opposition of whoever's making a response video if they don't show a single second of the video. For this harmful stuff here, not a single second of any of Harmful's coverage is shown. That is not a coincidence. That is because if you watch Harmful's coverage, you realize how fucking bullshit this is. And this is a technique that really stupid people who think they're smart do. Okay, so that's a great way to look out for it. If you ever see a single video that never shows what it's talking about in a section or something, you know you gotta watch that. Okay.
Nobody is able to ensure kids are safe online the same way they're not able to ensure they're safe at home or at school. That doesn't—
Wait.
You what?
Wait. Is that the leaflet argument? Am I hearing like a variation of the leaflet argument right now? Am I hearing a variation of the leaflet argument? Because I feel like I am.
It would make sense, though. It makes sense because didn't leaflets say we need to protect these children from these trans and gay people by putting them in our server, right?
Yeah, and it's like the opposite argument with Skitty. It's literally Skitty, but on a different political spectrum. I mean, sorry, it's leaflet, but on a different political spectrum. Like, it's literally, instead of it being protecting them from the scary trans people who will, like, rape them, it's protecting them from the homophobic parents. Yeah. Wow.
They do realize that this point actually just only supports, like, removing the minors, right? Not, like, keeping them in the space.
Correct.
Like, how are you going to keep the kids in your space and be like, there's actually nothing we could do to guarantee their safety?
Well, and on top of that, on top of that, all of this weird, like, coded nonsense of, like, you know, Harmful's second video about, like, the Benjamin guy and the other person, like, where, you know, they're getting them in, they're telling them exactly how they can, like, skirt around rules and, like, get into this because, oh, we're just, like, we're trying to protect them from homophobia or whatever, and it's like, okay, great.
Oh, dude, Skitty's response to that will actually probably make you crash out a little bit.
Did you see the video
I'm already
where
crashing
there was
out.
a guy who was trying to justify going against parents' backs because of harm reduction or something like that?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Harmful Opinions replied to?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh,
Well, no, we're going over that tonight.
person-
We're going over that tonight. We're going over that after this. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to limit risk factors in situations like this, and to that end, I have removed the minor role from my server, but I don't think that will matter to the people—
So Skitty. Okay, so this already makes me really angry. That acknowledges that Skitty actually watched the video because Skitty understands why the label of having minor in the server was a bad thing. So Skitty, since you agree that having the label of minor in the server was a bad thing, can you please just tell us why? Because you agree with the point. You conceded to that point by removing it. Because if you didn't have any problems with it, you wouldn't remove it. So, since you agree with it, how about you be honest about the reason that it was brought up in the first place? Be honest about it. How about that? Because you're not.
Remember, it was called they called it pearl clutching earlier.
Oh, it's pearl clutching, but yet I'm doing something about it. That's a little contradictory. That's a little strange. Yep. If it's pearl clutching, it shouldn't really matter. That's weird.
Who've already made up their minds about me. A quick glance at the comments under this video make it clear that this is not about keeping anyone safe, especially since the man who made this video went on to refer to 2 community members who he identified as children by their actual names in a follow-up.
You wanna know why? You wanna know why, Skitty? Hey, you wanna know why? It's because you named them, you dumb fucking bitch retard. It's because you named them first. It was already too late, you dumb fuck. Are you fucking retarded? You're the one who fucking named them in the first place. You're the one who gave personal details out about their life, you dumb fucking retard. Harmful just reported on it. If you're gonna blame him for that, you gotta blame yourself first because you're the one who fucking did it. Okay?
Gets better.
Stupid bitch.
Video, even showing their usernames on screen. If he's so concerned about minors that he's convinced are vulnerable to abuse, that decision materially endangers them more than anything I've done. This assertion
Yep.
Just not
that
responding.
I'm looking out for kids because I'm some sort of predator and not because I was myself a survivor.
No one's called you a predator. No one. Wait, did I call it? Wait, did I call it? Did I call it? Did I call it? Hold on. Hold on. First of all, no one called you a predator. Second of all,
This assertion that I'm looking out for kids because I'm some sort of predator and not because I was myself a survivor of CSA is disgusting.
okay. Now,
Never a good.
to be fair,
never
to be
a great
fair,
defense.
to be fair,
Oh my goodness.
to be fair, we don't know that it happened online. But, Skitty Bitty, I couldn't have done it without the teenagers that helped me along the way online. Also, Skitty Bitty, I am a survivor of CSA. So you understand, even if it didn't happen online, you understand the danger of having children and adults in the same place, is what that tells me. And yet you're still doubling down on this. Cool. All right.
Disgusting.
Okay,
But,
spring spectating.
back to that at everyone message. In the hours between me sending this message and it being posted publicly, the harassment did not slow, let alone stop.
Next year, we have to keep a list of terrible commentary videos and do an end of years tier list of videos like this. Yeah, that would be awesome.
It continued to intensify, and in the middle of all this, a new account called Skitty Bitty popped up and began to lob slurs at me. It wasn't anything I hadn't already heard, and I mostly found it entertaining that someone would go this far out of their way to try to hurt my feelings. But then came the reveal. Skitty Bitty posted a screenshot showing that Octo had been following along and liking their tweets in real time. I still don't know who is behind this account, but they are my hero. Unfortunately, the Skitty Bitty account was scrubbed, save for the tweet revealing Octo liking their tweets, but this was definitely the highlight of what was otherwise a very shitty day. It was about to get worse, though, as Octo decided to quote retweet this post where I made fun of the accusation that I'm racist against white people with the following. Openly hateful people like you are the reason why anti-Semitism is on the rise right now. I feel so sorry for every normal Jewish person who has to deal with you being a part of their community. You give them a bad name.
Epic? Okay, just as fucking shit, dude. Okay.
I mentioned I shared some personal information during my call with Octo that
that's
I'd
how the
never been
Jewish
open
thing
about
leaked.
publicly. I explained to him during our call that I deal with enough harassment from transphobes as is, so I've never been public about my ethnicity, especially since this is something that extends beyond me and implicates my family.
God,
Obviously
off,
want to
who
protect.
cares? Oh my
Allow
God,
me to
shut up,
emphasize,
shut up, shut
in
up.
the midst of being
Jewish.
No, so Skitty's saying that Octorok is evil because, you know, he leaked that she's Jewish, dude. That is so horrible and evil. Okay, so horrible.
Bro got exposed.
Exposed for Jewelry. This is horrible.
dogpiled and harassed for my supposed anti-white racism and alleged support for white genocide, Octo decided to reveal to his far-right audience that I'm Jewish. It's no wonder Octo doesn't bring this up in his video about me, because there's no way to spin this that doesn't make him look
Octo doesn't have a
unbelievably
far-right
ghoulish.
audience.
Later that evening,
not
Octo
at
was in
all.
his Discord.
He's actually pretty soy. I mean, if you look at his stuff, he's pretty fucking soy, man.
No, he's Italian, but no, he is also apolitical.
I thought he was a Mexican. Like,
Yeah,
half
he
Mexican.
is intentionally apolitical. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I do find it funny that, like, okay, so obviously you could call it a dick move, but I just find it so funny where I just see some comments being like, how dare you leak to Skitty Bitty audience that they're Jewish? Do you have any idea of what could happen? It's like, what, is Skitty Bitty's audience going to be like gigas and anti-Semitic?
My
Like,
response, the only appropriate response to that is problem. That's the only appropriate response. Like, truly. Like, what else are you supposed to say to a fucking retard like that?
Discord server repeating his talking points about me being a vicious anti-white racist. A community member asked, aren't they white? To which Octo responded, Jewish, actually. He went on to explain that he did specifically reveal this
God, Based. Holy fuck. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Based was a joke, by the way. Just kidding, guys, huh?
information to hurt me, claiming he did it because I was, quote, being racist towards him, end quote, and because I, quote, did the same thing, end quote. But I genuinely do not know what he could possibly mean by that. Octo's made it no secret that he's half Latino and half Italian.
For being Jewish, being a Jew is just a social construct, right?
That's true.
There is nothing even
Ethnically,
approaching an equivalent reveal
I
of
suppose.
personal information on my part. He's just lying to justify outing me as Jewish to his audience of occasionally unrepentant neo-Nazis. And it worked. The harassment...
So you know for a fact that
Jewish
this
to
is his audience. So this guy named Good Old 8 is definitely his audience. Says she genuinely thinks she can somehow trick the Goyim into accepting their own genocide, murder, mass rape. Sorry, Skitty, you must be in the same trap, but you're no Rothschild or Epstein or Frankfurt Institute. You're a fucking blank who makes video essays for midwits. Also, we have, there is no normal Jewish person. All Jews are scum in one way or another. Do you really think that this is Octorok's audience here?
Wait,
Okay,
that
here's
person's
another
disagreeing
one.
with
I know.
was disagreeing
Wait,
with
that was
Octorok.
literally, that was disagreeing. That's true. And then we also have this one, who is, what is this even? Okay, this is just a random retweet of the same guy who was disagreeing with Octorok.
The harassment I've received since he...
Okay, trans, voice is dead, giveaway, rapish? Okay.
Yeah, grapish, yeah.
What?
Conductor of the Cheers to the Kingdom hate train. Well, of course, you're a rape. Yeah. Suspected pedophile. No one said that. You're retarded.
He releases information is intensified and taken on a new tone. And as a reminder, the guy who made my Kiwi Farms thread is still hanging out in his server at this
Wait,
point.
hold on, Skitty. Hold on. If you're not gonna let Octorok moral over death threats thing, okay, hold on. Let me frame by frame here, because we're getting there. There it is. If you're going to moral F about Octorok saying that like it's not too late for a late term abortion and like say it's a death threat or whatever, why are you acting like this is when it gets serious and like now this is like very serious? There are real threats. We're turning Skitty Bitty into a lampshade.
Is that like a reference to like what the Nazis did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
It
I
does
only
have some
knew about the
historical
soap.
context. Yeah, I only found out like after my stream. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, I guess we know more about
is there
the
any
Holocaust.
Is there any actual proof behind that, or is that one just a rumor? Because I've heard that one's a
Don't
rumor.
you,
I've
you
heard that
can't
one's
do that.
embellished.
You're doing
I'm not.
Holocaust
Listen, I'm not denying anything about the Holocaust itself. I'm saying, was that particular thing something that actually happened?
No. If you were in Britain right now, you'd be immediately arrested. You anti-Semite. How dare you?
I never even said that it didn't happen. I'm asking if it did.
That is denying.
The lampshade thing is fake. Yeah, I thought that it was like some weird pop culture thing.
According to who? You don't understand the oppression. You don't understand. They literally used them to light their homes.
Well, I'm pretty sure the specific thing would be like Nazis using the skin of victims from the death camps to make things into like lampshades.
It is widely recognized as a myth that Nazis systematically turned Jewish people into lampshades. Though isolated incidents of using human skin for macabre souvenirs did occur. Let's see.
Whoever wrote that would be arrested in Britain.
And let's also look at the link. Let's look at the link here. Okay. So, Shedding Grim Light by Forward.com. We've also got the lampshade
Check their
from...
last name.
Let's see this one from the Miami Herald.
With Stein, I not believe in it.
Let's see this one
Their
by
last name
Aspen.
needs to be Stein
What
or
about
something.
Aspen Flughoft? That's cool.
That doesn't sound Jewish to me, so why would I trust them about the Holocaust?
So okay,
Doesn't
okay.
seem
So
like a
this
valid source
this
to
is
me.
saying that there was a single instance of the lampshade. There was a
Like
single
one psycho did it.
Yeah, like one psycho freak did it. That's what it's saying here. It's saying that there was an instance, but it was one instance, and it was like a small lampshade that was created as a gift, which is obviously horrifically psycho. Okay, nobody's going to dispute that. I was just wondering if this was a regular regular practice.
Simpleton, where do
Okay.
you draw the line with the questioning though? Because like you asked about the lampshade, soon enough you're going to be asking about the ovens. Like
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I know what I'm allowed to ask about and what I'm not. Okay, so that's my thing. All right.
Wait, Hippleton, did I just hear you just say 6 million was too high? What the fuck?
What?
Dude, what
Wait.
the fuck, Hippleton?
Wait. You think
What?
more? Wait. Hold on. Let me. I don't think you understand how you just phrased that. So you think that more Jews should have been killed in the Holocaust? I do think that
Why
6
just
million
say
is
that
way
6
too high of a number. I think it's disgusting that many Jews were killed.
Interesting.
Wait, so you think it should be a higher number?
Listen, why are you DMing me these
That
numbers
is not even
right
what was
now?
implied.
What
Interesting.
No, it was very
does this
clearly what you said. You said
just-
you were saying as a disparaging thing towards me
Okay,
that I
but
think that
why-
6 million is too
hold on.
high. And actually, I completely agree. I think even 1 million would be way too high. I think that's way too many people to have been killed. I think it's so sad and disgusting that happened.
Wait, why are you in my DMs saying, do you really believe that they
So
kill
that's all they
100
can.
people every
Ladies
5
and gentlemen,
seconds?
when they are defeated, that's all they can resort to is lies. Lies.
In my DMs, he said, like, I don't even know if I can say the number, but it's a meme.
Interesting.
All they can do is resort to lies when you defeat them. Just remember that, folks.
Taken on a new
Why are
tone,
you
and as a
messaging
reminder,
me
the guy who made my
271?
Kiwi
What
Farms
does
thread is
that
still
mean,
hanging out in his
Hamilton?
server at this point. It makes me sick to see him play
I'm
the
sending
victim in his
764
video
at you.
and receiving a fraction of a fraction
Oh,
of the
what does that
harassment he's
mean?
deliberately directed towards me. A lot of the more egregious comments on his video about me were scrubbed while I was writing this, but here's a sample of some of the things he missed.
Wait, they were scrubbed? Almost like he's deleting comments that are going too far about you?
Just like the Nazis did.
But you're gonna find a way to make that his fault? Even though that's what you wanted? Okay.
And these are just the things that got past YouTube's auto mod. Octo claims I don't refer to people like him as Nazis because I sincerely believe it. Instead, I say it to justify violence against them. But what else do you even call people like this? I've also received a fair amount of heat for
So now
referring to the
he's
people
just...
Octo
Okay,
pals
so
around
now
with
you're just outwardly calling him a Nazi. Okay. It used to be Nazi supporter, but now it's just Nazi. Not really sure how, but okay.
as Nazi pedophiles.
These
But I can't
Nazis
even
love
count the
to
number of
fight,
times
yeah.
I've looked at the profile of someone he's talking to and seen wall-to-wall lolicon shit. The Tears of the Kingdom post he made to quote-unquote rage bait his audience was posted by someone called What is Justice. One of the main VTubers Octo's constantly replying to looks like this and has cute and funny in her bio. And if you don't know what
It's over.
Yeah, let's pour one out for our good old boy Octorok. Yeah, that's an issue. I'm gonna be honest, that one's an issue, okay? But at the same time, Speed Racer did make a good point, which is she sent her audience to look at those same lolicons. Her audience, which does comprise of some children, to look at those same lolicons and report the posts. So, you know, nobody's looking good in that situation, right? Yeah.
I want you to look at DMs, but don't acknowledge it. Just nod. Thoughts?
Oh, it's out.
Yeah, it's only 20 minutes.
That's awesome. May have to watch that tonight.
Send it to me too, Ace. I wanna know
that
the
means
secrets.
I envy you. And of course, there's Octo's sponsor,
as you don't
The
leak.
Dragon's Treasure. Here's the
won't,
collage
I
I put
promise.
together of his greatest hits for my Gerudo video, and here are some new gems he's posted since then. Octo claims in his video that I harassed his sponsor when I've only directly interacted with him once in February, and any subsequent references to him have been to condemn the vile shit he posts on a near daily basis. The Dragon's Treasure is linked in the description of this video, and as a bonus, here's a screenshot of his sponsor harassing me. So no, Octorok Reviews is not some poor little centrist whose every attempt at making peace was thwarted by my relentless drive to harass him for no reason. Were there times when I instigated when I shouldn't have? Yes. Should I have moved on from this months ago? Also yes. Was it wrong to send out that @everyone message? Also yes. But does any of this justify the level of vitriol and hate speech I've received from Octo's community? No! Let me make myself clear. This is over. I do not want anyone from my community
from
interacting with
Octorok's
Octorok
community,
Reviews
bro.
or anyone else I mentioned in this video. I do not want to talk about this ever again. I want to end this video with an apology. Not to Octo, but to my audience. I didn't demonstrate the maturity in the situation that you should be able to expect from me. I acted impulsively, and I continued to engage with him long after I should have stopped. I'm sorry. My sincere hope is that the lessons I've learned from this situation will allow me to become a better version of myself. But if I've lost your trust,
It
I
won't.
understand. All I can do now is move on from this, get back to my work, and finish the video you've all been waiting for. I promise it will be worth the wait. Thanks for watching.
Wow.
Did they go outside?
Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no.
All right, guys, I gotta take a super quick piss, but let's
Wow, we can like take over the YouTube chat and everything.
yeah,
and,
for
like-
now, and then we'll get
Yeah.
Remnant.
I think
I-
Himpleton's gonna have to like private this video afterwards because of our last conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what he's talking about with Silent. Did you troll him epically? Just
What do you mean?
he's like, don't be
What?
silent like last time. I always tell a story. Did you?
I'm
like...
pretty sure he's talking about like the last time he went and you were just he's talking about you. That's what's happening.
Oh,
It's you.
I always tell a story or something. I don't.
You
just
weren't.
Go,
You didn't tell. You didn't say anything last time. You were just gone and muted.
when?
Earlier, I was here. I was.
Oh,
listening.
today?
Yes.
Well, that was before he left. It's not my fault he left knowing I was muted. Like, what a fucking chud,
Wow, you're just victim blaming now.
dude. All I'm asking is which N word.
I'd love to say, but this ain't Twitter.
Dude, I can't believe I actually got to see parts of that recently, Remnant. Dude, that was fucked up. That was really fucked up.
It was
Dude.
fun. That was my first time ever really having beef or interacting with like a person in a fighting way online. So I messed up. I didn't do that good in the debate. But I've learned, I've adapted. I'm no longer this guy who's like, skittish and talking to people on debates now, yeah.
Dude,
Grown.
poor Alec Gunter, bro. Poor Alec Gunter, man.
He deserves it, bro. Alec Gunter's actually like a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah, I was fucking.
I accepted his apology before, but I became a bit bitter thinking about it more because I made a video on him and I was like going after him because he's fine with being openly anti-white and racist towards white people. I make that video. He deliberately ghosts me and ignores me because he's scared of me. And it's like you antagonized me when I was smaller. Now when I make a video, you're scared and you ignore me and you don't want the heat, but you still do it to other people. Wow. That's a bitch move. You're being a crybaby, boy.
It's okay. He's best friends with Vosh. Talk to them in real life, being like, yeah, I'd just like to see the new younger generation just throw it back. Great guy, great stuff. Lots of misspeaks, apparently.
He's
lovely guy.
The crazy thing is, he's like the most astroturfed channel in existence, and he just couldn't make it work. Like, he's been on Jubilee. He's been like Jubilee. I don't know how many times, maybe one time or two. He's been collaborating with Vaush. He's gone to in-person Michael Knowles debates, and he's like went after him and everything. He's been he's been boosted by so many people, and he never made anything of it.
Dude, what a waste of space, dude. That's kind of depressing, actually.
I'm back in the room. You can stop talking about me. God.
Yeah, we were talking about you.
Yeah, we were talking about you. Like, someone asked in a debate if you were fatherless and you went quiet for 5 seconds. It was pretty bad.
When has that ever happened? I would just say, no, my father is very nice.
Oh, I know what he's referencing.
I love my father.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah, you were like,
oh
yeah, you said in a 1 HP voice, what's the relevance to that, man?
He apparently.
What is? Wait, what? Who did this? Who is this about?
So it was my first debate. I didn't do well with the debate because it was like my first ever real interaction with like anybody in a live stream. So I was like shitting myself. But
I still think
it
you kind of
became
smoked
pretty. How do I put it? Pretty like disgusting in terms of we were just fighting each other. There was no real debate. He was being a snake in the debate, and we were just fighting each other back and forth. I was like, bro, you sound fatherless. He's like, what does that matter? You know, I have a father. Bro, do you even have a father? He's like, what's the relevance? And like, regular.
Do you know what he should have done?
What?
He should have done the XXX Tentacion and been like, what's a father? That would have been awesome. That would have been sick. Okay, if he had done that, that would have been sick.
I would have just said, oh, it's funny you would ask. I bet you would want to know the answer to that.
What's a father?
Dear Skitty Bitty, I'm sorry that.
So now we're getting into Harmful's escapades as of recently.
Watch this. This was kind of painful to watch, honestly. Like, I watched about 1 minute of it, and I cringed so much while listening.
Here we go.
Dear Skitty Bitty,
yeah, you're gonna be
I'm sorry that whatever happened to you in the past has warped your perspective on what's acceptable or not. Perhaps that can be seen to not.
Perhaps it was your past that you talked about at the end of your video, by the way.
By the way, I want to clarify, when I say it's cringe, I meant the part where Skitty Bitty started talking.
Of course.
Not be your fault. However, it is still a problem nonetheless. And I'll talk about this again shortly, but first I need to talk about your brief coverage of me and my output in your recent video. Strangely, even the tiniest details that you have no reason to deceive anyone about are false. Of me taking a peep at your Patreon Discord server, you say that I had no idea what I was looking for, and that I was simply coming through.
He didn't know what exactly he was looking for when he decided to comb through my Discord. He just had some gut feeling that something was off.
Why does Harmful's mouth get smaller every video? He's like shrinking. It's like some weird like Benjamin Button disease. It's like very scary, okay?
No, I knew exactly what I was looking for, as is clear from my video. So I take a quick peep at Skitty's Patreon Discord, and I do one search. I type report, into the bar.
Okay. Literally, he knows exactly what he's looking for going in.
Criticism of their use of a tag in their Discord is ridiculous pearl clutching.
He still decided to pearl clutch over there being an optional role that people under the age of 18 can use to identify themselves.
Yet claimed that to the end of child safety, they have abolished that role.
Nobody is able to ensure kids are safe online, the same way they're not able to ensure they're safe at home or at school. That doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to limit risk factors in situations like this, and to that end, I have removed the minor role from my server.
So it's ridiculous pearl clutching that Skitty agrees with? In some attempt to counter it,
correct.
Skitty refers to me calling what they're doing, commanding an army of child soldiers, as being very funny.
But the line this guy, and then eventually Octo, ran with was that I was commanding an army of child soldiers to harass people I disagree with. Which is, of course, very funny in how absurdly dramatic and self-serious it is.
It is. I'm glad you agree with me. Now onto the title of this video, which you might be saying, why have you done that? That's horrible. That's too extreme, blah, blah, blah. It's really funny.
Which is, of course, very funny in how absurdly dramatic and self-serious it is. But the accusation it represents is that I'm in some way endangering minors by simply having them in my server.
That is literally the opposite of truth. I specifically state that that is not the problem.
Correct.
Minors. Generally, I'd say do not do that. But if you do and everything's clean, okay. Jumping in post real quick, totally ruining the vibe of the video to add something I think is important. I said the problem was two things. The minor role, which apparently Skitty agrees with, and content Skitty was directing users to by pinging everyone. Skitty is adamant that there was nothing inappropriate for kids in there ever, but there's a problem. Skitty didn't just say report, Skitty instructed everyone to go and look at everything on Octo's account. What's on Octo's Twitter? What's it all covered in, according to Skitty Bitty?
I've also received a fair amount of heat for referring to the people Octo pals around with as Nazi pedophiles, but I can't even count the number of times I've looked at the profile of someone he's talking to and seen wall-to-wall lolicon shit.
Linking to.
Right, the one that you said the kids should look at, right.
And instructing people to look at someone's interactions when they interact with wall-to-wall lolicon shit accounts doesn't sound very fucking safe for work or appropriate for kids to me. Skitty Bitty decides to appeal to YouTube comments for some reason.
A quick glance at the comments under this video make it clear that this is not about keeping anyone safe.
You are supposedly an adult in their mid-20s. Stop with this playground click. Look who he's with.
True.
Look who she's with. Shit.
True.
Skitty Bitty then says something incredibly bizarre on my last video.
Especially since the man who made this video went on to refer to two community members who he identified as children by their actual names in a follow-up video, even showing their usernames on screen. If he's so concerned about minors that he's convinced are vulnerable to abuse, that decision materially endangers them more than anything I've done.
More dangerous than anything you've done. That was me showing you doing that. You've actually done that around 100 times. And wait, hang on. This is a point about the identifiability of minors. I thought that was pearl clutching. I thought that was ridiculous. Now let's talk about what Skitty Bitty says about the contents of that video. The one they've apparently seen because they're talking about it. Skitty Bitty defends themselves by saying, wait a second, Skitty Bitty doesn't address anything in that video.
Huh?
Can I message you something?
Yeah.
I recommend watching it yourself, but I'll summarize quickly here. I found that Skitty Bitty was directly instructing individual minors on how to make a purchase, how to buy access to their private Discord server via Patreon without their parents knowing, calling it the Skitty Bitty strat, and recommending using it for whatever else as well. Many people have defended it by saying, well, a kid could figure it out on their own, so whatever. Kids can look at porn on their own as well.
Yes, exactly.
But if an
it's
adult
the idea of the encouragement.
their legs.
Correct.
Similarly, kids, even kids as young as 13, as Skitty was instructing, can figure out how to get around their parents. But if a fucking YouTuber is instructing them on how to do that, how to keep secrets that will be shared with that YouTuber, that is beyond a red flag. This is a YouTuber who covers children's games trying to architect a scenario where they have dirt that would get a minor in trouble with their parents, and attempting to profit off.
Does harmful opinions fuck with Skibidi Toilet? The world wonders. That's so true. The world does think about that. Thank you, Double D Reactions, for subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Really appreciate it, bud.
For doing that. Even if a YouTuber doesn't do anything more than that, they have still engaged in predatory behavior. They're also an extreme liability for any platform they're on. Oh, but I know this person. They only have fucking good in their heart. No, you don't, you parasocial retard. Any YouTuber, any fucking freak online trying to pull that shit for any reason, one and done. Over. Get a fucking sense of perspective. This little fight with Octorok Reviews is funny, it's fun. I repped on his video on stream. This stuff, though, is no joke. Do not care why someone is doing it. Do not care
Correct.
what YouTube comments are saying. Do
Yep.
not give a fuck what threads on drama and gossip websites are saying about someone. Does not modify what has occurred. Does not change the fact that Skitty Bitty can't see anything wrong with such behavior from a YouTuber.
Yep.
When brought up to them, merely describing it as innuendo. If you believe a kid is at risk, by all means, provide them resources. If necessary, contact CMEC or your national equivalent. A YouTuber should never, ever be directly instructing a kid on how to bypass their parents' wishes to give them money, whether it then occurs or not. No. Hard fucking no.
Yep.
Dear Skitty Bitty, I'm sorry that whatever happened to you in the past has warped your perspective on what's acceptable or not.
Oh, it is. At first I thought he was doing this like fire like thing where he like ends it the way that he begins it or something. And I was kind of like, dude, it's kind of awesome. But okay, so that's that. I mean, just a thorough rape there. A thorough rape, I would say. Okay. So then somebody responded to this called Edgier Than Thou. Okay. So from that name alone, and I mean, let's just take a good look at this guy's face, please. I'm really loving this profile picture here. Incredible. Incredible. Let's really get a close look at that. Incredible. I mean, look at this guy. Hold on. Let's take a good look. Let's take a nice long look. And then why did you send that to me?
I'm just editing a video that has it, and I thought of you when I saw it.
Why would you think of me when you saw that?
Guess I knew you would hate it.
So this guy looks like Gypsy Crusader if instead of becoming a Nazi, he just started to like...
just sent you!
He just looks like he just started drinking like a vapid amount of Soylent instead of like becoming a Nazi. That's kind of the vibe that he's giving.
Doesn't he look like what I sent you, though, without the mustache?
No. So also Bunglas sent me this and said, why would you say this? What is this? The Chinese. I really hate the Chinese. Okay, thanks, man.
Posting on Twitter.
All right, so Edgier Than Thou. All right, so let's see if this Edgier Than Thou man, who is named Malachi, and he's a writer and a grad student who loves to talk about issues, social issues, pop culture, and politics. What? He responds to arguments, good and bad.
He looks like one of those Gmod characters.
Thank you for the $2. He responds to arguments, both good and bad, and he's done a debate or two, but we don't talk about that. All right, so are you guys excited? This guy's gonna be super edgy and crazy, okay? You guys ready?
Hey, folks,
just starts his video off with just saying a slur.
I mean, already I'm hearing him. I'm seeing what is clearly like a, you know, a ponytail, like kind of man bun sort of thing at the back. I don't have high hopes. His profile picture looks like a Gmod character. It does a little bit. Yeah, let's see how the legendary Dark Woke goes. Okay, let's see how Dark Woke looks. Okay, guys.
Recent years, I've become increasingly disillusioned with internet culture and people's willingness to manufacture and fuel drama for the sole purpose of milking content and attention.
So right now he's giving me a mix of like iDubbbz meets In Praise of Shadows.
For the purposes of this video, I don't want or need you to care about the...
Dark Woke is when bisexual lighting. That's so true.
Derail. Can we fundraise
Thank
for
you for
a
the
cave
5.
diving exploration excursion for Anthony and Skitty? In these exact caves. Also, this guy has very homo hand moves.
Very homo hand moves. That feels particularly, you know, it kind of feels targeted towards me because of my homosexual hand moves, but that's okay. I'll let it slide. And in terms of the cave thing that I know that you sent that we'll review after this, which I guarantee the entire thing is just like horrible deaths. No, we're not going to send Skitty and Anthony there. No, that's terrible. That's terrible, and I disavow.
Drama we're discussing in and of itself. What I want to draw your attention to are some of the patterns on display that hopefully you will watch out for moving forward.
What?
They don't care that if we know the context of this drama? Fuck you, bro.
No, because it's just the patterns. Dude, it's just about the patterns, man. Dude, it's the patterns.
Dude, fuck this guy.
Dude, it's about the patterns, man. What are you freaking talking about, man? It's about the freaking patterns, yeah?
What the fuck?
Come on, man.
Whether in internet drama, political theater, or douchebag coworkers. I think I've set a reasonable standard on this channel, but just to catch you up so that you understand where I come from, I try not to take most internet beef super seriously. I'll make a little fun of people.
I'm a writer. Okay, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry to do this. I just kind of have to. So he doesn't take, you know, internet drama seriously, right? Writer and good student who likes to talk about social issues, pop culture, and politics. I respond to arguments, good and bad, and I've done a debate or two. He's oozing unseriousness, okay, guys? He's oozing it, okay?
When they try and fail to debunk me or whatever, but it's not all that deep. Ultimately, no matter how gross I think their beliefs are, the person on the other end is still a human being, and I don't want to be like a source of torment for someone. Point being, I have no inherent issue with the decision to make a video about someone you don't like very much. That is completely in bounds.
Okay.
I do, however, have a problem with how certain people do it. Content.
Are you gonna cover the Miyatsu situation? I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Are you in my Discord? If so, you can put it in content suggestions, and I'll look over it.
Warning for discussions of sexual abuse. The subject of our response today is a YouTuber who calls himself Harmful Opinions. This is a YouTuber who primarily makes anti-woke drama slop, and his most recent drama content surrounds Nintendo content creator.
Right, because by the way, guys, woke is Nuxtaku. As you can see, scrolls, first half here is... Okay, so Chibi Reviews equals woke. So he says primarily anti-woke drama. So let's again look at it. Let's look at the scroll that he shows. Let's look at the scroll that he shows.
He looks identical to genetically modified skeptic. They are all grown in the same lab.
So true, man. But so prove this point here. These first are about, like, I guess you could say wokies. All right, we got some wokies.
Primarily makes anti-woke.
Primarily, Chibi Reviews equals woke. Leaflet equals woke. 4 videos about Leaflet equals woke. Nuxtaku equals woke. Rape Tone equals woke.
Recent drama content.
Nuxtaku 3 more times equals woke.
Rounds Nintendo content creator.
Like, what is this? Oh, okay. Wait, these people kind of look woke, so that's like mean.
Skitty Bitty. Hopefully that's an accurate characterization.
What, it's just
We're going to
he's
do
black?
something a little bit unusual by watching his reverse. Actually, after writing most of this script, he's released now a 4th video on this supposed drama that I will not be responding to. Just keep in mind, as soon as the
Well, we don't know why you're responding to it at all, because it doesn't involve you whatsoever, man. But that's fine.
Next sentence in this video, that I wrote most of this before he made even more content off of it. Unsurprisingly, this is a guy who loves the opportunity to keep a drama going for multiple videos, and in this case,
It's providing updates to dramas, but okay. Yeah, do use that in the most bad faith way possible, for sure. I really like how you're calling out lies, but you have already just, like, committed, like, several just fallacies here, but it's fine.
Unwittingly gives the game away. This video is titled...
This guy looks like he would rape and eat people. Jesus Christ, bro. Okay. Jesus.
Skitty Bitty versus parental consent.
The first complaint is that I supposedly left important information out of my coverage when I talked about it. And you know what? Fair enough, you're right, I did. The second complaint is more of an accusation that I'm trying to make Skitty Bitty look like a nonce, that I'm pedo-jacketing. You seem to have misunderstood. I showed Skitty Bitty doing that to other people. Well, I went out of the way to say nothing of that kind of stuff was happening in that Discord. Not everything that is inappropriate with kids is sexual. It is nonetheless still inappropriate. And on top of all of that, the details I cut out when talking about it were cut out for the purpose of harm reduction. What I omitted was something that makes Skitty look a little pedo-y.
Okay, I have 2 things to say here. First, my standard vis-a-vis internet pedo-jacketing. It's bad. You shouldn't implicitly or
Okay, glad to know that Skitty Bitty's bad. Thank you.
Explicitly
okay, we're gonna jump in right here.
Simply
I'm happy to know already this guy doesn't like Skitty Bitty because he said that internet pedo-jacketing's bad. Okay, good.
Because you think they're bad people unless you have meaningful evidence to back it up. I do, however, think it's perfectly fine, for instance, to point out that supporters of Donald Trump are pedophile defenders. We have...
He sounds like a woman with the way he talks.
Supporters of Donald Trump are pedophile defenders. I'm not going to touch that. I don't really want to have that discussion right now.
Plenty of evidence that Donald Trump is guilty of this crime, and his supporters, many of whom are not predators themselves, are morally culpable for continuing to support him. You'll notice in the screenshot...
They're morally I'm having a lot of temptations. I gotta put it down.
Can't the right say that about people who support transitioning minors?
Oh, we just gotta put this down. We gotta put it down. I can't start this because it's never gonna end. Okay. We're just not responding to that. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I just don't want to do it right now. I really don't feel like this discussion right now.
Situation if he was here,
he would say,
"I completely agree. I completely agree with everything this guy's saying because I'm a wokey libtard."
He'd be like, he'd be like, "I get you, Himpleton. Pat's back."
No, I would say something
it's all right,
Himpleton.
Pat's back.
Himpleton doesn't want to do it right now, so.
I mean, I just really don't want that.
Like,
it's such an annoying conversation. Okay, like that's the reason I don't want to do it. But it's like, okay, you are inherently like assuming that
when people are supporting Donald Trump, that they believe that the accusations of pedophilia are true, right?
Well,
Most people who believe and support Donald Trump, not saying that they're good, I'm not making any fucking claim on that, so don't try to fucking moral police me here. But like, those people are doing it with the assumption that Donald Trump is innocent and has been falsely accused of those charges, right? So to say that those people are supporting a pedophile or defending a pedophile is inherently bad faith. Because, again, if they, to phraseology of being like they're defending a pedophile, kind of presumes this idea of like, you know, it is, they know that he's a pedophile. They know it, right? Whereas that's just not the case. Just not the case. Okay. Hambleton is MAGA confirmed. Kill yourself.
I would have just made it a lot more simple and said that there's a difference between believing ideologies and thought process versus someone's pedophilic actions. And trying to conflate those two is, you know, intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other point I would make. I mean, I think it's really stupid, especially considering the fact, like, I mean, it would be like, you know, supporters of Harvey Weinstein support rape, right? Or are defenders of rapists, right? Like, no, Harvey Weinstein made movies, you know? And people who support Donald Trump aren't supporting him because of his proclivities with young girls. Okay, they're supporting him because of, like, you know, the politics of it or whatever, right? It's a bad faith argument, right?
As a defender of heretics, I fully agree.
Thank you for the 5, Sunday. I appreciate it, buddy. I'm glad you agree.
Show used that SB was doing the latter, not the former. Second, let us imagine for a moment that we live in a world where what...
There's no way. There's no way he just did that. Let us imagine for a moment a man named Penis, okay?
HO has just said is true. He has, through investigative techniques, uncovered evidence that a YouTuber is guilty of predatory behavior.
Not what he said. That's just not what he said. He didn't say that. Do we need to rewind? Because I'm feeling like this guy, at the very least, needs to rewind. Because that's not what he said. What Harmful said is that he found stuff that would look sort of pedo-y. Would look. Not actual predatory behavior. Would look. Two very different things. This guy claims to be a grad student. This guy claims to be a writer. This guy claims to be critical.
Where there is absurdity, there is a way.
Thank you for that, too. That is very true. That is very true, Sunday. But this guy claims to have this, like, you know, critical genius, okay? Like, he very much is purporting himself to be this, you know, fucking, you know, like, he's just playing 40 chess over here. And he doesn't understand the way that what Harmful said and what he's now saying are different. He's saying that he's telling you how to look out for bad faith, and he actually is. But it's through his script. If you look at his script, you know how to look out for bad faith, okay? He's a great example of it. Fucking hate people like this, man. This is already worse than Skitty's video. I think it's just the presumptuousness of it. Like this it's self-insert to the extreme, and it's so presumptuous. Like, it's just so, I don't know. Behavior like this is so fucking contemptuous to me. I fucking hate people like this. I want to have a boxing match with this guy. Can we get that? Can we make that? Don't say anything in his comments. Don't say
his
anything in
hair
his
being
comments.
slicked back. I don't know why. When I look at it from like this freeze frame, it reminds me of a bowling ball.
It feels like he's trying to like have this weird like David Koresh aesthetic, and
Maybe
it's just
he,
not
like,
working.
Really likes Hitler, and he's trying to do his hairstyle.
Or David Koresh. Probably don't even know who that is, buddy.
Does this guy like
really
Hitler?
fucking weird thing to leave out of your video, ain't it? From his perspective, he's created a drama video.
So once again,
You
it
can
actually
even
makes
see the little bit of
hold on.
mustache.
It actually makes total sense for him to have left it out of the video if you actually went by what he said instead of going by this bullshit straw man that you've set up, even though you played the clip of what he said. It makes sense for him to have left it out of the video because he's not calling Skitty a predator. He's saying that they have done actions before that seem a little pedo-y, that would make Skitty look worse. That's all.
Exposing a YouTuber's inappropriate behavior with kids. And
do you think the ATF messed up in Waco? I think when agents are taking selfies with corpses, with burnt, charred, like, corpses of children, I think that something's been messed up. Yes, I would say so.
Left out the alleged smoking gun. Remember when Elon Musk got booted out of MAGA for a bit and posted that Donald Trump was covering up the Epstein files because
But to give you like an actual answer that's not just like going to the most extreme thing that happened in Waco, yes, I still do believe that it was like severely fucked up. Same way that Ruby Ridge was. A lot of what the ATF and the FBI was doing during that time was just fucking retarded. And the way that they handled things was really fucking stupid. So yes. Long answer, yes.
Because his name was in there, and we collectively had to act like we didn't just...
Why are we talking about Epstein?
Alleged smoking gun. Elon Musk got booted out of MAGA for a bit and posted that Donald Trump was covering up the Epstein files because his name was in there, and we collectively had to act like we didn't just watch a guy admit that he'd been covering for a child predator until it was no longer convenient for him. Harmful Opinions wants you to think he's the Elon Musk in this situation, casually sitting on...
What are you talking about? What are you talking... You know what this is kind of like? Do you guys... Okay, either Ace or Chud Knight, who will remain nameless, because I'm worried about what he's going to say. But have you guys ever met like a person who like speaks in like movie references or like anime references or Marvel references?
Yeah.
Like somebody who's constantly like hearkening back to references. Like this is the equivalent of this, except it's about politics. It's literally the Family Guy cutaway thing that I always say about Jar, where it's like every single time this guy gets a fucking, option to do so, he's gonna be like, hey Lois, remember the time Elon Musk? It's like, what is the relevance to this? Who fucking cares, man? Like, we get it, dude.
Incriminating information until he has a chance to...
Yeah, Diorio does this too. Yes, that's true.
Elon Musk in this situation, casually sitting on incriminating information until he has a chance to weaponize it. Now, were I an...
Why would Harmful Opinion want people to think that he was doing that? That doesn't even make sense. You said that he wants us to think that he was doing that. Why would he want that? What are you talking about?
Anti-woke slop tuber, this would be the moment I'd start pedo-jacketing. Why would you cover this up, Mr. Opinion, sir? I'm kind of suspicious, don't you think? Except, of course, I know...
But you would just be misreading what he was doing. Like you have been. Also, he never pedo-jacketed Skitty. Okay.
Exactly why he did this. YouTube drama cycles operate on constantly increasing stakes. Every subsequent video has to make the situation bigger, worse, scarier in some way. H.O. admitted in his original video that he had looked...
Okay, so Harmful Opinions already has defied your, prescription of how this has to work. And when Harmful Opinions did his apology to Skitty, it was actually a downsize from the drama of, the Benjamin stuff. So already your formula just doesn't work. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're a tourist. Get the fuck out of here, okay? I hate it when these people do these prescriptions over everything and act like that's how it always is, when it just isn't. It's just not, and it's very obvious that you have no idea what you're talking about. All of you fucking academics are the same. I hate academics. I hate them. I hate them so much. They are some of the most pretentious freaks imaginable. When I was in college, just period, there were so many of these freaks who just would constantly act like their shit doesn't smell and they know everything. And if you disagree with them in the slightest, you're disagreeing with facts. It's so fucking stupid.
And could find no evidence of real impropriety, but he wanted that sweet attention and possibly ad revenue. So he left some minor details out to give him an excuse to make a second follow-up video later and double his view count.
Wow, it's almost like that's what he said. He literally said that, and you're acting like he hid that.
The excuse he gives is that he left this information out as harm reduction. To translate what that means, he knows it's bullshit. If he legitimately believed that kids were at risk, harm reduction would have necessitated he share it.
It's almost like he never called Skitty a predator and instead said some of the things were kind of looked pedo-y. So this is a moot point.
Now, of course, even though H.O. has just admitted he's willing to leave out crucial information if it gives him an excuse to draw things out, we should probably look at that crucial information. By virtue of making content about Nintendo games, SB naturally has some kids in their audience. Here's the first relevant piece of investigative journalism in H.O.'s video.
Skitty has also publicly passed a judgment on this young boy's parents, as they are ideological enemies.
I'm your dad. Go do your chores.
No, parents are homophobic crazy people.
Okay, I'm your internet uncle.
Before we continue, I'd like to clarify something. If you are homophobic and allow that homophobia to influence how you raise your child, you are doing them harm. It doesn't necessarily mean you're an abusive monster.
Okay.
That you're
Okay. No. Strongest argument, let's just give that to them. Okay? The real objection becomes then relevancy? Relevance? Does it not make it inappropriate behavior to overstep those boundaries with your child audience? Yes, it's still inappropriate. So it's a complete moot point, and it doesn't matter. Like, we don't even have to get into the nitty-gritty of whether it's harmful or not. We can accept that presumption, but it still has nothing to do with what's happening.
100% terrible parent, but you are objectively putting your bigoted feelings over your child's well-being.
Okay.
Harmful opinions would like to make this a "you just hate Republicans" thing, but it isn't. This is a simple fact about human societies. I am perfectly willing to entertain ideological disagreements with people.
Harmful never said that it wasn't a bad thing. You're putting words in his
Harmful
mouth.
opinions love Republicans so much.
So fucking
And
stupid.
have made it quite clear that we should humanize people we dislike. But I will not compromise on objective reality, and frankly, I refuse to coddle the feelings of homophobic weirdos who care more about their personal vendettas than taking care of their families. Much like it would be fucking asinine to defend neglectful parenting as simply ideological disagreement, it is
We're also taking the word of a 13-year-old child, which is around the age when you become like rebellious against your parents and stuff like that. Do we know that they're telling the truth? We don't. We have no idea. They could be exaggerating. There's so much. And this side of things is just relying on the narrative of this 13-year-old child. It's insane.
complete horseshit to defend bigoted parenting that way.
How does he defend it? How is saying that
there's no
someone,
defense.
an
It's dishonest.
unrelated person, like just, criticizing their actions is defending the root of those actions? It makes no sense. What are you talking about?
Stream last year, Skitty plugged their Discord, and Young lamented that he wouldn't be able to join. He doesn't have a card, or I suppose a PayPal or anything that he could use to pay for access to get into the private Discord. His parents also presumably wouldn't want him joining the private Discord of a queerness-focused YouTuber. No problem though, Skitty was there to help.
Anyway, if you want to join the Patreon, but you don't have a credit card, what you should do is you should buy yourself a Visa gift card at
Anthony Gramigula praises this video, by the way. Is there a tweet or anything where he praises the video? Can I please see this? Can I please see this? The Gramigula medallion strikes again, guys. The Gramigula medallion strikes again. Okay.
at a store. I'm joking mostly, but I'm actually not really joking. If you are a child and you have crazy homophobic parents and you need to buy anything really, you should buy a Visa gift card because you could just spend that on anything. You can do that.
This now is the crux of HO's video. This was the horrible secret he was keeping. Now, I want to recap what we just watched so that we're on the same page. In this stream, the child in question wanted to give
Never made it sound like a horrible secret. Already misframing, but okay.
the YouTuber money. The YouTuber jokingly explained how to give them money before then acknowledging it as good general advice outside of donating to
Jokingly and then says it's not a joke. Okay.
YouTubers. If you're not a complete hack, it's very easy to see what happened here. Imagine for a moment you run a no-cash business. A potential customer comes up to you and says, "Gosh, I'd love to buy your products, but I only have cash." To which you reply, "Well, if you really want to give me money, you could open up a bank account and get a debit card."
Important context missing. This is a child.
Actually, you should probably open up a bank account anyway. The give me money part of the conversation was said lightheartedly, while the advice was given sincerely.
I never had to do shit like that because my parents are cool, but
Glad
I
to see
support
someone
everyone who
else
does-
talking about this. Harmful opinions is such trash. 42 likes, 15 comments from Anthony. I almost called him a slur.
I mean, okay, so is that one of the comments here?
I just used the YouTube comment finder. I can send you the screenshot.
Yeah, send me the screenshot. I want to show it. I want to show it loud and proud.
So Anthony supports the idea of you actively getting in the way of the parenting of other families, going against their best wishes. That's really fucking bad.
Fuck that part. It's more like, again, like, I think that we're weakening the argument by like going into the weeds with that. Like, we can talk about that all day long, and that's a valid like conversation to have and everything. But the point here, that what is a much more solid argument, because it doesn't require getting into the weeds, is the fact that this guy is blatantly lying about clips that he is showing the audience. That is ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous that anyone can watch this and think that this is a good video. It's ridiculous.
Have you also went over this? I will send it here, just since we're talking about the Ant-Man. This is Ant's take on the Skitty clips for the streams.
Okay, so first of all, glad to see someone else talking about this. Harmful opinions is just trash. Thank you, Anthony Gramigula. And then we have this one. I just dug up the clip. It's about it's talking about kids who need their resources if their parents are being homophobic. It's extremely disingenuous to act like I knew about some clip from some random stream I never saw. This is deeply unemployed behavior. We did cover
Anthony
that.
Is like supporting, it looks like this, supporting random YouTubers, strangers online, talking to your kids if he deems you homophobic. That is fucking creepy.
Yes, that's insane. Being just completely parasocial with random, like, you know, children and giving them advice and instruction just because you're trying to help them out of a bad situation. We all know how bad that can get. I've already talked about it earlier on the stream.
Doesn't have cool parents in their quest for autonomy.
The autonomy to give YouTubers money and gain access to private chat rooms.
This is relevant, not just the yap. If you actually want to get into the ideological territory of when, you know, it doesn't matter that they're the parents and that they're doing something that's abusive or wrong or harmful, then shouldn't that be substituted by the state? Shouldn't the state jump in, do an investigation, find any evidence of real harm or any sort of abuse by any set standards you decide politically, whatever it might be? You want the state to jump in with that. It is not the job of random people.
This is leading a child to
internet.
sin. Matthew chapter 18 verse 6, specifically sinning against, honor your father and mother.
Thank you for the 5 Sunday. Just
Like,
if you think his
there's
audience can't think for themselves, why does he need to frame it like a business and customer relationship? Because he's literally like, this is, I'm telling you, all of these academic type people are the exact same. All of them, okay? These types who are so just pretentious and they just think that their shit doesn't stink. I've had to hang out with so many people like this, and it's insufferable, okay? They think that everyone around them are retarded, okay? It's just awful.
Their parents wouldn't want them in.
You may already have noticed some of the dishonest framing going on here, but it's actually...
Yes, I have. In the 7 minutes and 37 seconds of this video, you've done a lot of it. Go on.
Worse than it looks. To get the obvious out of the way, as far as we know, the reason the parents in this circumstance don't want their child in this environment is not over some safety concern or mental health reasons. It's because the environment contains minorities. Leaving that out
We have never confirmed this ever, by the way, but okay.
completely changes the tone of what we're discussing. This is my channel, so I'm going to
There's
tell
no
you
way
a
they're
brief
about to
story
sweep.
from my childhood. I'll change a couple of specific details just to keep it vague, just in case I kind of...
There's no way you're about to
fucking way.
sweep.
When I was
Not just sweeping, Ace. We're about to trauma dump. We're about to trauma dump. Are you ready? You excited?
13 or so,
Fuck, man.
my mom came up to me and said, "Hey, that person over there just told me that you called them stupid." Immediately, I asked her, did they tell you why I called them that? They, of course, hadn't. So I explained that this person had just gotten done telling me that the blacks were better off under Jim Crow, to which I, of course, said, "That's stupid." I was an eloquent 13-year-old. My mom gave me...
Shut the fuck up.
So guys, wait, let's do a poll. I'm calling it ahead of time, though. Never happened. Just never fucking happened. Did this happen? Poll. Did this happen? Did a 13-year-old get into an intellectual argument about race with another, you know, I guess presumably same age, and, you know, like intelligently spout off that they were being stupid? Did this happen? Did this happen? The
Yes,
vote.
the intellectually nuanced 13-year-old.
Yes. Like,
I should have thought about this sooner.
my God, dude. I mean, this is so insufferable. It's people like this. They think they're the second fucking coming of Christ. It's so annoying.
a look of horror at this, because of course that changed the tone of the interaction quite a bit. The point I make in telling you this is that
Somebody just said I was the other kid.
the asshole in this situation, tone of the interaction quite a bit. The point I make in telling you this is that the asshole in this situation, the person who said something very racist, probably knew that if they told my mom the whole story, she'd take my side. So they left out a crucial detail that completely changes.
Wait, kind of like how you've been doing with Harmful when you framed this entire thing like pedo-jacketing when it wasn't. That's cool.
Things. But it remains the case that the
I'm seeing the
sentences,
parallel.
"I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with drugs," and "I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with non-whites," are completely different sentiments, and one of them is not deserving of the same consideration as the other. The other, more important little misrepresentation he gives here is the fear-mongering over private chat rooms. I point this out because, of course, the purpose in saying this is to imply shady behavior. What's going on in these private chat rooms? This is another reason why he spread this information across 2 videos, because Harmful Opinions actually spent time in these private chat rooms, and here's what he found.
Skitty's Discord has a setup that I think is incredibly unwise. Now, it's clean. There's no porn. You're not allowed any not safe for work. I don't believe there'd be anything awful happening in there.
Okay.
But it does welcome kids. It does welcome minors. Generally, I'd say do not do that. But if you do and everything's clean, okay.
I'll address his follow-up complaint and the issue of responsibility in a moment, but to be unambiguously clear, this guy openly admits that he did not find concerning content in the server. Then,
yep, that's why he never pedo-jacketed them.
2 videos later, he's implying that allowing a kid into this server is
the little pedo-y.
I'm gonna be mean.
Nope, it's the way in which it was the way in which it was done. Again, no concept of nuance here. Zero concept of nuance.
For a second here, this guy does not give a flying fuck about child safety, nor does he care about finding an
kill yourself. No. No. You admitted at the beginning of the video, that you don't know much about any of this shit. So for you to make these sweeping claims about Harmful, who, again, was the person, I want to show this to you, because he already showed it to us. So let me just show it one more time. The person who exposed all of this about the Leaflet server, who talked about the child safety when it came to the Nux stuff, and went into far more detail about it as a supplement to Nick Andros' video, the person who did all of this doesn't give a fuck about child safety. Are we serious? Are we serious?
He's either a knowing liar or a complete lunatic. To be unambiguously clear, because apparently this is difficult online, I'm not accusing him of predatory behavior himself, and I think anyone who tried to do that would be grasping at straws as far as I can tell. What I am accusing him of is willingly exploiting the subject for attention and money, drip-feeding information and manipulating his viewers to allow him to keep reheating the same nachos over and over again. Now,
not what he's doing. He even said that, like, you know, without like Skitty's, you know, downplaying of all of it, he wouldn't have said anything about it, but he's just noting further bad behavior here.
In saying that, I said he's reheating nachos. That implies that there existed nachos to reheat. So let's play one more clip to make sure that we're on the same page.
Point of concern 1, though, the minors are tagged. The minors have a minor role, at least the ones that identify themselves.
Interesting.
That seems extremely dangerous to me. Fish in a barrel for pedophiles is how I'd describe it.
Correct.
Like, you can let them in while also being like, if you're identifiably clearly a kid, though, you're out. Something like that. Because that's most of the protection, right? The identification of a target for these people. It needs to be very risky for them to try and pull something. If the vulnerable people come pre-packaged and pre-labeled, that's just my take on it.
Getting over the sensationalist fish in a barrel language that any sane...
What is sensationalist about saying that minors who literally tag themselves as minors in a Discord that has adults in it is literally, not figuratively, not exaggeratively, it is a neon sign to those pedophiles as an identification for those minors. That is what he means by fish in a barrel. What is sensationalist about that? Can you please share with the class? Please. I'd love to hear it. I would love to hear it.
Person understands to be over-dramatized to get viewers riled up. This Discord structure was irresponsible. Having a minor tag is not...
Which is it? Is it sensationalist or is it valid? Just like with what Skitty said. Same, real quick, same defense as Skitty, right? Same exact defense as Skitty. Because Skitty said it was, nonsense, but then proceeded to remove the label. So which is it, guys? Which one is it? Go ahead, Ace.
Also just want to note that this person is denied to having a public conversation with harmful opinions.
Of course he has. Of fucking course he has. God.
A good idea, and whilst I believe SB removed that tag before I was even fully aware of this drama, I said as much privately.
Just to clarify, in case my wording is a little bit ambiguous here, the minor tag was removed, and to the best of my knowledge, that happened before I was, aware of it. That's all that I meant there. I'm just going to link their response video in a pinned comment if you are concerned about any of the, specific details here. Although, again, I don't think that you need to be to understand what's going on.
This would be, were an honest person making it, a valid critique. Or rather, it is a valid critique made in an extremely dishonest way.
An honest person were making
Further,
it.
Right, but because apparently this person... have you never seen the Onion article where it's terrible news, the worst person in the world made a valid point? Here's the thing. people you don't like can still make good points. Okay, but whatever.
Child safety on
All right, thanks, Raymond.
line is a difficult thing to get perfectly right. That's not an excuse to get it wrong, but it does mean that we need to be a little bit introspective here. We should all know by now that the majority of victims of child sexual abuse were abused by someone they knew and trusted. This is not to discount the importance of online safety, not by a long shot, but it is, I don't know, a tad relevant when you're advocating for authoritarian parenting and mocking the concept of kids having autonomy. I'll admit that I find this topic fucking infuriating, having seen example after example in my life of families protecting and covering up predators simply because they're related to them. But the ultimate point is...
Trail with timestamp. The previous time harmful saw Edier.
Thank you so much for the 5. We'll get to all derails after this segment.
You may disagree where the line is placed when it comes to red flags from people's families, and many of these red flags point to different kinds of abuse, emotional, physical violence, what have you. But if you cannot understand why a person who can't materially change the situation might see some of the red flags of emotional abuse and point a kid towards autonomy, then I do not believe you are thinking straight. Also, just so that we're entirely clear on this, none of the situations I'm referring to involved me directly in any way.
I don't care. I didn't need to know that.
was not a victim in this circumstance.
Fucking retard.
Mr. Opinions has made 4 videos now on this drama that he's manufactured. And with the release of this,
that he's manufactured. Shut the fuck up.
He's bound to make more. But I hope you at least gain something from seeing the ways that statements can be manipulated or reframed to imply things that the creator is too cowardly to just state. Moving forward,
this guy's just
if you
making
end up
such
getting
dishonest
sucked
points that
into
they agree
internet
with
drama,
the point and remove the minor role. It's so fucking like stupid. It's just always disingenuous. It's always dishonest. Anyways, let's remove the minor role for no correlation. No correlation. All right.
It's so stupid. It's just so stupid, man.
First of all, my sympathies. And second, I hope you remember that the people making drama content want your attention and your interest. And whilst it doesn't inherently mean that everything they say
so do you, though. I mean, what's the... You want it too, buddy.
...is a lie. It does mean you should take a look at it with an extreme degree of certainty. And for the record, well, I don't think I'm much of a drama person. That goes for me too. People have fairly pointed out times in the past where I've misinterpreted something or taken a statement out of context. And the people who catch these mistakes are often the best equipped to actually comment on the situation.
So you have a history of doing this?
Okay, wait, that's a great... Wait. I really like this. I really like this.
People have fairly pointed out times in the past where I've misinterpreted something or taken a statement out of...
Hi there. You said you encourage people to point out misconceptions and times you've taken things out of context. I have many examples of that in this video that I found through my first watch through. I would love to have a conversation. Thank you for the 5 Sunday.
If you don't see that emancipating kids to join private fan clubs against their parents is a red flag, you are not thinking straight.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that this even needs a conversation like that.
I would love to have a conversation with you that would be respectful and amicable. I am able to put away my hyperbolic nature for a good productive conversation. If you are interested at all, feel free to DM me on Discord. It is 10K. Okay, let's see.
Out of context. And the people who catch these mistakes are often the best equipped to actually comment on the situation because...
Yeah, like me. Wait, that's true. Thanks, man.
They're listening actively and making up their own minds.
Right, that's exactly what I did. Thanks, man.
Be that person. Anyhow, thank you for watching this. Consider...
So I'm being the person that he wants me to be, so hopefully he'll say yes to this.
Liking the subscribe button and giving me just so much fucking money on Patreon. Like, if everyone watching this gave just $1,000, then I'd be rich.
That's really funny.
And isn't that kind of beautiful?
That's really funny. That was really funny. Let's see Harmful's response to this. Let's do it.
The video is called A Lesson in Manufacturing Outrage Online. It's by Edgier Than Thou, and the thumbnail says, Spotting a Liar. If I skip anything, I'll tell you what I skipped, and you can go look yourself. I'll link it below. Let's see what our guy has to say.
Hey, folks. In recent years, I've become increasingly disillusioned with internet culture.
Disillusioned with internet culture? What sort of esteem did you ever hold it in? Thank you to the people who sent this to me. Have a feeling this will be great.
And people's willingness to manufacture and fuel drama for the sole purpose of milking content and attention.
This is very nice. This is very refreshing. Normally when people talk about me, my viewers, they complain because my output is so low. I'll just go a month without making a video because I don't feel like it. I won't argue with them. I am a content god.
For the purposes of this video, I don't want or need you to care about the drama we're discussing in and of itself.
Yeah, I believe that this guy really wants people not to care. Seems about right.
What I want to draw your attention to are some of the patterns on display that hopefully you will watch out for moving forward, whether in internet drama, political theater, or douchebag coworkers.
Dear audience, here's what to do if your coworkers start acting like harmful opinions and talking about how you've been weird with a kid. All right, dude, let's hear your speech.
I think I've said a reasonable to catch you up so that you understand where I come from. I try not to take most internet beef super seriously. I'll make a little fun of people when they try and fail to debunk me or whatever.
No need to ever say this. Just behave in such a way. Right now,
True.
you're simply broadcasting
True.
that you have issues.
True.
Show, don't tell. Embody, don't posture.
But it's not all that deep. Ultimately, no matter how gross I think their beliefs are, the person on the other end is still a human being, and I don't want to be like a source of torment for someone.
Do you think you could be? Where do you guys find you? This is the yin to Skitty Bitty's yang.
I think these people need to learn the meaning of fear. Getting way too bold, saying disgusting shit on the internet.
The meaning of fear.
I have no inherent issue with the decision to make a video about someone you don't like very much. That is completely in bounds.
Thanks for your permission. I appreciate it.
I do, however, have a problem with how certain people do it. Content warning for discussions of sexual abuse.
Why? Is this going to be another one of those, this person's been raped so they can do whatever they want, people? Had enough of that with the lolicons, man.
The subject of our response today is a YouTuber who calls himself Harmful Opinions. This is a YouTuber who primarily makes anti-woke drama slop.
He says with videos shitting on Leaflet, Tectone, and Chibi
Yes,
reviews on
yes,
Steam.
And his
yes.
Scrolling down to videos shitting on Nux Taku, videos about plagiarism.
Brown's Nintendo content creator.
Scrolls down to me shitting on Candace Owens and David Wood. Are you blind?
Great.
Did you look at what you were screen capping? Or is that anti-woke to you? As before, it's refreshing though. Normally I get called a Hassan suck-up.
Hopefully that's an accurate characterization.
Sure, buddy. Okay.
We're going to do something a little bit unusual by watching his videos in reverse. Actually, after writing most of this script...
You scripted this? This is a poor performance already if you're going off the top of the dome, like I do in my vids. I just sit down, talk for 10, 20 minutes, whatever, depending. In this case, it's a bit different. I'm playing the video, talking, but you get what I'm saying.
He's released now a fourth video on this supposed drama that I will not be responding to. Just keep in mind, as soon as the next sentence in this video, that I wrote most of this before he made even more content off of it. Unsurprisingly, this is a guy who loves the opportunity to keep a drama going for multiple videos.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If shit keeps going, I'll keep talking.
And in this case, he unwittingly gives the game away.
It's pretty transparent, man. I see stuff that compels...
Honestly, Harmful was more generous with Edgier than I was there. Because he says, fair enough, like, if it keeps on going, I'll keep talking. Which is what I said about Harmful, but that's why it's not fair. Because this guy's treating it like he is purposefully dragging stuff out to make it keep on going. Whereas Harmful's just an opportunist. He's just going to keep on talking about it if the drama keeps on going.
Tells me to make a video, I'll make a video. People talk back or something happens, I talk more.
This video is titled Skitty Bitty versus Parental Consent.
The first complaint is that I supposedly left important information out of my coverage when I talked about it. And you know what? Fair enough, you're right, I did. The second complaint is more of an accusation that I'm trying to make Skitty Bitty look like a nonce, that I'm pedo-jacketing. You seem to have misunderstood. I showed Skitty Bitty doing that to other people. Well, I went out of the way to say nothing of that kind of stuff was happening in that Discord. Not everything that is inappropriate with kids is sexual. It is nonetheless still inappropriate. And on top of all of that, the details I cut out when talking about it were cut out for the purpose of harm reduction. What I omitted was something that makes Skitty look a little pedo-y.
Okay, I have two things to say here. First, my standard vis-a-vis internet pedo-jacketing. It's bad.
Very agreeable, sure.
You shouldn't implicitly or explicitly accuse people of serious crimes simply because you think they're bad people.
It's not just of doing a crime, it's of being in an unacceptable state of existence, of having an attraction to kids. Part of why it's nasty is because if you're just painting them that way, they can't really prove they're not. A more concrete accusation of an action can be disproven. Accusations regarding how you feel, harder to shake. Gotta be real certain before you go in like that.
Unless you have meaningful evidence to back it up.
Yep, to be clear, bro's right. I was just adding a bit more.
I do, however, think it's perfectly fine, for instance, to...
And that's why Skitty Bitty sucks, by the way.
...that supporters of Donald Trump are pedophile defenders. We have plenty of evidence that Donald Trump is guilty of this crime, and...
Any of that aside, I would actually relax my standards for public figures and especially politicians.
His supporters, many of whom are not predators themselves, are morally culpable for continuing to support him. You'll notice in the screenshot HO used that...
Dude, this is Nuxtaku's second account. That's so true.
That SB was doing the latter, not the former.
Ah, not true. The latter was done to Octo. The former was done to anyone he interacts with online. When you say his whole account is simping for Nazi pedophiles, you're saying something about the people he interacts with or says positive things of. You a gamer? It's an AoE pedo claim. Hits everyone, especially people that Skitty has previously put a spotlight on Octo interacting with. Are all of them pedophiles with concrete evidence? If he literally only interacts with pedophiles, fair enough, Jesus Christ, but I ain't digging into that. Do you?
Let us imagine for a moment that we live in a world where what HO has just said is true.
It is.
He has, through investigative techniques, uncovered evidence that a YouTuber is guilty of predatory behavior.
Just a YouTube transcript search, and in my opinion, they are.
That's a really fucking weird thing to leave out of your video, ain't it?
No. All right, let's hear it.
From his perspective, he's created a drama video exposing a YouTuber's inappropriate behavior with kids and left out the alleged smoking gun.
I didn't just leave it out. I cut it out of the video. Some people noted how severe my language was, despite having shown a milder thing. That's because originally I was talking about that as well, and I had to Frankenstein by recording a bit. Now, I'm looking at this blind, and I want to be fair, so let's listen to some more of what he says. Maybe he does understand or has figured out.
I'm interested to hear where he's
Elon
going
Musk got booted out of MAGA for a bit.
What in the fuck?
And up the Epstein files because his name was in there, and we collectively had to act like we didn't just watch a guy admit that he'd been covering for a child predator until it was no longer convenient for him.
Oh no, bro, you're being silly here.
Harmful Opinions wants you to think he's the Elon Musk in this situation.
Not really, and in no context do I wish to do that, unless we're talking about
casually sitting on incriminating information until he has a chance to weaponize it.
No, I didn't sit on it. I actually used it instantly, just not to make a YouTube video with. Feel free to disagree with me, but I am not joking when I say how fucked up I think it is for a YouTuber to be talking to someone they believe is 13 like that. I see any fucking YouTuber talking directly to a kid like that. You're getting snitched on. If it helps, imagine it was me talking like that directly to a kid, instead of a little ooh-woo age regression voice plushie role player.
Now, were I an...
I wonder what he means by I used it but not for a YouTube video.
He probably talked to Skitty directly or some people.
Or like... yeah, something like that. Okay, interesting.
I woke Sloptuber, this would be the moment I'd start pedo-jacketing. Why would you cover this up, Mr. Opinions, sir? I'm kind of suspicious, don't you think?
Totally misunderstanding. There's a balance where, if something might be a threat, awareness helps avoiding it, right? But at the same time, if you know stuff you think is real bad is out there, you don't want to draw attention of that person to it until you know the right people have their hands on everything. Like, as this guy who's supposedly pumping out anti-woke...
Wait, that's... wow. I didn't even know that he went there with it, but that's a very good point. Yeah.
Could have made that video instantly. Why do you think I waited a week? It's a complicated balance.
Interesting.
Feel free to disagree with my approach. Feel free to disagree with how severe you think this stuff is. But I wasn't doing that.
Except, of course, I know exactly why he did this.
Absolutely not, because you're a YouTube-brained homunculus.
You on constantly increasing stakes. Every subsequent video has to make the situation bigger, worse, scarier in some way. H.O. admitted in his original video that he had looked and could find no evidence of real impropriety.
Totally untrue. I commented on the contents of the Discord. I suggested there was no sexual impropriety. There was some borderline stuff with someone with a minor tag talking about, like, who would date who and height and stuff, but I felt it didn't cross a line. Far from saying there was no real impropriety, I pointed out 2 examples. There's minor tags, the kind of thing I've been talking about being a bad idea for about a decade now, a feature which is now being changed. Good, and I suggested when you are so welcoming of minors, as young as 13, you shouldn't be linking them to Nazi pedophiles on Twitter.
But he wanted that sweet attention and possibly ad revenue.
I know people who watch my stream are raging at this guy. Don't encourage the bold fuck to leave more juicy stuff on the table. I'm already too lazy about making videos. Past year, maybe more than a year, I've spiked like half of the videos I've made.
So he left some minor details out.
Pun intended?
To give him an excuse to make a second follow-up video later.
I don't need an excuse to make videos. I would have happily talked about the same thing 5 times if I felt like it. I operate on whims. Actually look through my stuff. I think that's pretty apparent. Just every now and then I get something stuck in my craw.
And double his view count. The excuse he gives is that he left this information out as harm reduction. To translate what that means, he knows it's bullshit.
No, I genuinely think it's totally fucked up. Some fucking weirdo stranger on the internet talking to a kid like that. No, I wasn't joking about feeling a bit fucking ill in my first video. That's not kidding. I wasn't pretending. I sought advice, and I was advised to report it. I think maybe a fair critique would be that I talked about it at all. Maybe, but like I said, it's sort of a balance. I think we should know. I think it crosses the line into public interest. Again, feel free to disagree.
If he legitimately believed that kids were at risk, harm reduction would have necessitated he share it.
I did. Not in a YouTube video, though. Again, like, I could understand a criticism that you think I didn't wait long enough, but that was my judgment on the balance of people should know versus I don't want to give someone a chance to sweep stuff up.
Now, of course, even though H.O. has just admitted he's willing to leave out crucial information if it gives him an excuse to draw things out.
I used to stream for 8 hours a day. I can draw anything out forever if I feel like it with no silly, aped, retarded, ghetto Hollywood YouTube mindset. Content brained.
Dude, I'm sensing some of the same, like, aggression that I had for him.
We look at that crucial information. By virtue of making content about Nintendo games, SB naturally has some kids in their audience.
And I mean, literally everyone does. How you manage that is what matters.
Here's the first relevant piece of investigative journalism in H.O.'s video.
Skitty has also publicly passed a judgment on this young boy's parents, as they are ideological enemies.
I'm your dad. Go do your chores.
No.
his parents are like homophobic, crazy people.
Okay, I'm your internet uncle.
Firstly, nice attempt at censoring the kid's name, but it's on screen. I just went for a standard of censoring any full usernames. But it's genuinely really hard, and I don't blame you because of how plastered with little kids Skitty's content is. Also, regarding the clip, can I just say that's fucking insane to me? Very normal, you know, just a stream where someone's amplifying the complaints of someone who claims to be 13 to thousands of people. Is that not bonkers? Hey guys, check this kid out. They're super fucking vulnerable and very receptive to anyone who validates their complaints about their parents. Check it out. What does this guy think about it?
Before we continue, I'd like to clarify something. If you are homophobic and allow that homophobia to influence how you raise your child, you are doing them harm. It doesn't necessarily mean you're an abusive monster or that you're a 100% terrible parent, but you are objectively putting your bigoted feelings over your child's well-being.
And the way to deal with that, of course, is to form some sort of weird, overly familiar personal relationship with a YouTuber, yeah? Yeah?
Right. Would like to make this a you just hate Republicans thing.
I'm impressed. He caught that I was doing something there. Not exactly my intention, though. Not quite. The point is to like, inflame, I guess, people like this guy and push them to be a bit more loose and free with how they justify the behavior of YouTubers. Has he fallen in the trap? Let's see.
But it isn't. This is a simple fact about human societies.
Immediately, it's looking like no, actually. Good job, mate.
I am perfectly willing to entertain ideological disagreements with people and have made it quite clear that we should humanize people we dislike. But I will not compromise on objective reality. And frankly, I refuse to coddle the feelings of homophobic weirdos who care more about their personal vendettas than taking care of their families.
Nice. Agree.
Much like it would be fucking asinine to defend neglectful parenting as simply ideological disagreement, it is complete horseshit to defend bigoted parenting that way.
Nice and balanced. Fair enough. Are we going to go any deeper, though, and discuss the reality of the situation where this is occurring, that this is someone claiming to be a kid who is also asking other people who claim to be kids for their Discord details and so on and so forth? You know, appropriate ways to approach this, etc., etc.? Looking forward, the answer is no. In a stream last year, Skitty plugged their Discord, and young lamented that he wouldn't be able to join. He doesn't have a card or I suppose a PayPal or anything that he could use to pay for access to get into the private Discord. His parents also presumably wouldn't want him joining the private Discord of a queerness-focused YouTuber. No problem though. Skitty was there to help.
Anyway, if you want to join the Patreon but you don't have a credit card, what you should do is you should buy yourself a Visa gift card at a store. I'm joking mostly, but
I'm not.
I'm actually not really joking. If you are a child and you have crazy homophobic parents and you need to buy anything really,
Instant walk
you should
back
buy
in.
a
I know,
Visa
it's
gift
so
card
awesome.
because you could just spend that on anything. You can do that.
This now is the crux of HO's video. This was the horrible secret he was keeping. Now,
yeah, totally insane, massive red flag behavior between a YouTuber and a child.
To recap what we just watched so that we're on the same page, in this stream, the child in question wanted to give a YouTuber money. The YouTuber jokingly explained how to give them money before then acknowledging it as good general advice outside of donating to YouTubers.
Funny way to say, explicitly stated they were not joking. I'm hesitating about what they just said and then biting the bullet.
If you're not a complete
Dude, I don't know why. It makes me so happy when like I say a bunch of points and then I watch a video on like what I just covered and they're saying like it's the same stuff. Okay, makes me feel vindicated. Okay, it makes me feel like I'm saying I'm making some points that actually make sense.
To see what happened here. Imagine for a moment you run a no cash business. A potential customer comes up to you
Yeah,
and
Humble
says,
Opinions is
"Gosh,
pretty good
I'd
at
love to buy your,
defining-
but I only
Oh,
have
yeah.
cash." To which you reply, "Well, if you really want to give me money, you could open up a bank account and get a debit card."
Nope, you're not pulling that. This was explicitly and specifically about hiding a purchase on Patreon from parents. Did you go look at things yourself, or are you just running on a video that a man you're calling a liar put out? That would be insanely irresponsible, wouldn't it? Additionally, I have to say, brother. Let's actually do this hypothetical, because it's not really analogous there, is it? A 13-year-old, not a customer, comes into an establishment.
Yes! Yes!
Starts telling the shopkeeper bad things about their parents. The shopkeeper commiserates with them and tells everyone else in the store about it. And in fact, whatever the kid's saying's bad about their parents means the parents wouldn't want them there. Later, the shopkeeper decides to tell him, hey, we've got like a private lounge for this kind of people in the back, but it costs $3. 13-year-old tells the shopkeeper, I don't have a means of paying for that. So the shopkeeper then explains to this child how they could pay without their parents knowing. But it's even worse, isn't it? For it to truly be analogous, this shopkeeper would have to be wearing a mask and refusing to let anyone know his name. Maybe where you live is different. Where I'm at, that shopkeeper would probably have to move.
Actually, you should probably open up a bank account anyway. The give me money part of the conversation was said lightheartedly.
The classic gag, the classic bit where someone in their mid-20s tells a 13-year-old to do something, specifies they're not joking. Very funny.
Advice was given sincerely.
I never had to do shit like that because my parents are cool, but I support everyone who doesn't have cool parents in their quest for autonomy.
The autonomy to give YouTubers money and gain access to private chat rooms their parents wouldn't want them in.
You may already have noticed some of the dishonest framing going on here, but it's actually worse than it
Yes,
is.
from you.
To get the obvious out of the way, as far as we know, the reason the parents in this circumstance don't want their child in this environment is not over some safety concern or mental health reasons.
Parents don't need a fucking reason for not wanting their kids in a YouTuber's private chat room. I want your child to hang out with me and my buddies? Unfortunately, your reasoning is fallacious. The child is mine. What do you want?
It completely changes the tone of what we're discussing.
I didn't leave it out. It's in this video you're watching. Here I am, saying it. But also, specifically, to make sure this kid would be around people His parents are believed not to want him around on account of their alleged homophobia.
Did our guy just not understand what that sentence means? And regarding
Probably
tone,
not.
I don't give a shit. Zero tolerance. So a guy tells some little story to illustrate, ooh, knowing the full details changes the tone. I did include what he said I didn't include, and I think quite clearly. So I won't subject you to it.
The point I make in telling you this is that the asshole in this situation, the person who said something very racist, probably knew that if they told my mom the whole story, she'd take my side. So they left out a crucial detail that completely changes things. But it remains the case that the sentences, I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with drugs, and I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with non-whites, are completely different sentiments, and one of them is not deserving of the same consideration as the other.
Cool story, bro. Both fall short of justifying a YouTuber interacting with a child fan like that. In my opinion, at least.
The other, more important little misrepresentation he gives here is the fear-mongering over private chat rooms.
Sorry, me saying it's private is a misrepresentation. Take that up with the owner. I believe that's their characterization as well. Quite emphatic that it's not public.
I point this out because, of course, the purpose in saying this is to imply shady behavior.
Incorrect. Doesn't even need to be anything happening. And we're certainly always going to be unaware of the full extent. YouTubers directly instructing 13-year-olds on how to bypass their parents' wishes or believed parents' wishes to get them into a more private space is behavior that should not ever be tolerated. That kind of involvement should not be happening and is obviously a gigantic red flag.
What's going on in these private chat rooms. This is another reason why he spread this information across 2 videos, because
which information?
Harmful Opinions actually spent time in these private chat rooms, and here's what he found.
He just plays the clip of me saying there's no NSFW allowed. I don't think there's anything sexual going on, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure I do reiterate that in the later video.
I'll address this follow-up complaint and the issue of responsibility in a moment, but to be unambiguously clear, this guy openly admits that he did not find concerning content in the server.
I also didn't look for it. It's fair enough that you don't know because I didn't lay out the timeline. So as I explained, when I was originally looking at this little scuffle between Skitty and Octo, the only thing I was really interested in was how tough Skitty was trying to come across. Calling Octo personal lolcow and so on and so forth. Flagged something in my mind like this person is way overcompensating.
Immediately looked for the word report.
For something. I think this is a little puss who's going to try and get this guy banned in secret. I went and I only looked for that, and I instantly found it. I also noticed that the people talking about the Nazi pedophile stuff they were sent to look at had minor tags. By the time I thought to look into anything like I found in the YouTube clips, I'd already been banned from the server. I don't know what's in there. I was just being charitable. I have been sent a couple borderline things. By concerned individuals I was unable to verify myself, and given everything else we know, I'm not sure the wisdom of having an emotional support venting channel seems like a good way to get people who don't know better.
No. No. I need to send you a DM. Hold on. I need to send you a DM.
It's over. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry. We're just doing evil things.
To share too much about themselves, but even then, this doesn't modify the problem with what occurs on YouTube.
Then, 2 videos later, he's implying that allowing a kid into this server is
a little pedo-y.
Incorrect, that's not what I'm implying is pedo-y. I'm suggesting that a YouTuber singling out a 13-year-old viewer for special attention and instructing them on how to enter a more private space with you against the assumed parents' wishes looks pedo-y as fuck. Because it does.
I'm gonna be mean for a second here. This guy does not give a flying fuck about child safety.
And yet my methods bear fruit. Do they not? Multiple Discords changed, including
Skitty's.
Nor does he care about finding and exposing dangerous behavior.
Tolerating this behavior from YouTubers is dangerous as fuck, actually. Or is this one of those retarded, well, I don't think his soul and his heart is really in it, so actually, we can do whatever we want at all times things.
He's either a knowing liar or a complete lunatic.
To be fair, many people have claimed the latter.
To be unambiguously clear, because apparently this is difficult online, I'm not accusing him of predatory behavior himself, and I think anyone who tried to do that would be grasping at straws as far as I can tell.
Yeah, you haven't done that at all. You haven't given that impression whatsoever. If you're worried about it, you can pull this clip. He has not done this.
What I am accusing him of is willingly exploiting the subject for attention and money, drip-feeding information and manipulating his viewers to allow him to keep reheating the same nachos over and over again.
I'm not nearly as strategic as you think I am. If I felt like talking about exactly the same thing 10 times in a row, I would.
In saying that, I said he's reheating nachos. That implies that there existed nachos to reheat. So let's play one more clip to make sure that we're on the same page.
God, even that line, I just hate the way that he fucking says it.
These nachos in question. Let us imagine a plate of nachos. Now, these nachos that are being reheated apparently implies the existence of nachos in the first place. Now, what does that mean?
Like, I can't stand people
Plays the
like
clip of
this.
me explaining why I think minor tags are not a good idea on Discord.
Getting over the sensationalist fish in a barrel language that any sane person understands to be over-dramatized to get viewers riled up.
Is how I fucking talk, man. Maybe you just haven't seen what I've seen, because I reckon you'd be less respectful of such choices.
This Discord structure was irresponsible.
Hell yeah, common sense. But I'm going to ask you to go one step further, walk with me. Why is that a bad idea? And how do you think that relates to over and over and over again drawing
Yep.
attention to a child in your live stream that other people
Yep.
are chatting with. A
Yep.
child that is
Yep.
massively oversharing.
Yep.
And whose overshares
Dude.
you are then amplifying yourself. One of the streams
Exactly.
you shouted out has over 100,000 views. Come on, man. Is this not nuts? You don't seem to live stream much, but would you behave like you've seen? Purely based on vibe,
I hope
don't
not.
think you would.
Having a minor tag is not a good idea, and whilst I believe SB removed that tag before I was even fully aware of this drama, I said as much privately.
Sorry, to be clear, you've been in discussion with Skitty Bitty about this. For all your bitching about changing tone by leaving information out, that sure changes the tone a whole fucking lot for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean,
Just to clarify, in case my wording is a little bit ambiguous here, the minor tag was removed, and to the best of my knowledge, that happened before I was, like, aware of it. That's all that I meant there.
Oh, sounding like you mean you just send a DM to a YouTuber. What's the extent of your relationship? I'd love to know. This is the kind of stuff I love looking at. Are you trying to make your...
I mean, would not surprise me, given, you know, the loving, you know, Anthony Gramigula loving your video. Wouldn't surprise me if you also have talked to Skitty. I mean, you got to talk to the person who's the clear victim in this case, right?
Sound close by saying, I told them as much privately. Or are you actually networked? Like, imagine an anthropologist who focuses on YouTubers and hates them.
This would be, were an honest person making it, a valid critique.
It is, even if I'm the devil.
Or rather, it is a valid critique,
There you go.
made in an extremely dishonest way.
Hey, we're back to fuck you again.
Further, child safety online is a difficult thing to get perfectly right.
True. Part of why I operate a kill-on-sight policy. I also just don't want them around me, as much as is possible. Like, the worst thing, actually, the real victim in all this Skitty Bitty stuff is me. Since talking about it, I've got these fucking shitter babies coming into my messages going, oh,
Shitter
fuck you,
babies. Don't say it like that.
14, I know what I'm doing. Actually, no, they don't. If they're doing that, Jesus Christ. I responded to a Skitty Bitty community post, laying out my issue more plainly and not in the stylized way I talk on this channel, saying they're almost 18, and anyway, kids younger than that already know all about pedophilia, so it's fine to send them to go and look at whatever. Total fucking nightmare. Insano world. I just wanted to make fun of someone for being a pussy when they present themselves as being tough, man. Why do I gotta know about all this?
That's not an excuse to get it wrong, but it does mean that we need to be a little bit introspective here. We should all know by now that the majority of victims of child sexual abuse were abused by someone they knew and trusted.
Oh my god, bro, what are you doing?
This is not to discount the importance of online safety, but it is, I don't know, a tad relevant when you're advocating for authoritarian parenting and mocking the concept of kids having autonomy.
Never does either of those things, by the way.
I don't believe I said anything about what parents should do or how they should parent. I'm criticizing
Correct.
the practices of YouTubers. I was mocking
Yep.
exactly what you were doing here. A ridiculous justification of fucking effective anons on the internet teaching kids how they can secretly do things with them. I don't care what they end up doing, and there's no way to really know for sure, which is actually why this behavior shouldn't be tolerated. YouTubers should not have this kind of relationship with their audience. I will emphasize yet again, we're not talking about someone discussing a hypothetical or general advice. This was directed to an individual regarding a specific desire of theirs. Even merely tolerating this kind of behavior creates risk. Promoting it and defending it and encouraging it, ostensibly, is insane.
I'll admit that I find this topic fucking infuriating, having seen example after example in my life of families protecting and covering up predators simply because they're related to them. But the ultimate point is, you may disagree where the line is placed when it comes to red flags from people's families. And
Cool, now do red flags from random anonymous strangers online.
many of these red flags point to different kinds of abuse, emotional, physical violence, what have you. But if you cannot understand why a person who can't materially change the situation might see some of the red flags of emotional abuse and point a kid towards autonomy, then I do not believe you are thinking straight.
My brother, we're talking about a YouTuber convincing a kid it's okay to watch them, support them, and generally be parasocial as fuck from what I've been looking at. Oh, but the broader message is that is ass covering.
Also, just so that we're entirely clear on this, none of the situations I'm referring to involved me directly in any way.
Okay,
I'm not a victim
don't
in
care
this
still.
circumstance.
Still
Mr.
don't care.
Opinions has made 4 videos now on this drama that he's manufactured, and with the release of this, he's bound to make more.
Hell yeah, brother.
But I hope you at least something.
That's
from seeing the ways
awesome.
that statements can be manipulated or reframed to imply things that the creator is too cowardly to just state.
What exactly does he think I didn't say that I wanted to but merely wanted to imply? You're analyzing me while clearly knowing fucking nothing about me. It's
True.
just a canned idea. You haven't actually engaged with the media I've put out. Like, go back to the start of this. Look at how he characterized my channel versus what was on screen as he said it. Simply not attached to reality, I fear.
Moving forward, if you end up
I hate how these people fixate on letting children roam free on the internet.
Yep.
It's 2026. They cannot roam free. I roamed free back on AOL in the 90s and I saw things I shouldn't have. Today it's far worse for kids.
Same for me in the early 2000s. Like, I never got groomed or anything, but I saw some horrific, heinous, like, gore and shit, okay? I saw some horrific shit, okay? Like, I mean, you know, Omegle, dude, like, Jesus fucking, like, yeah. Yes, like, exactly, Jathus. Thank you so much for the 20. I appreciate it.
sucked into internet drama. First of all, my sympathies. And second, I hope you remember that the people making drama content want your attention and your interest.
Giga Galaxy Brain level commentary, people who upload media to YouTube want it to be seen.
And whilst it doesn't inherently mean that everything they...
The guy in the weird lighting almost looks and sounds like MatPat if someone drew him from memory. I agree.
Oh, stop.
It's kind of true. It's kind of true.
No, I see that. I see it. That's why it's painful.
I love it. It's like the Backrooms concept where it's like, it looks like you're trying to tell somebody to draw a dog who's never seen a dog before. that's that with MatPat.
It does mean you should take a look at it with an extreme degree of certainty.
Did you mean scrutiny? Scripted video, by the way. But yeah, you should do that regardless, actually.
And for the record, well, I don't think I'm much of a drama person. That goes for me too.
Sorry, I pause-anded you. Fair enough. I'd like to say thank you to this individual for not critiquing my sketchy color grades. He appears to be a photographer, so he easily could have. And if you're watching, I'm going to say something man to man. You obviously disagree with me regardless, but I am not lying about what I think and feel. You obviously clearly don't like my style. I have a bit of mischief in me, and my chosen approach is almost always going to be polemical. You may not have guessed, but like you, I'm an American, and our nation was born out of a polemic. Yes.
What? Harmful's American?
Yeah, who would have guessed?
Dude, that's the biggest plot twist of the entire fucking stream so far. I didn't know that.
Dude,
but also,
he's been hiding this crucial information. Just
dude, you were a yank the whole time, brother?
It gets things.
Bring her in.
Done. Demonstrably. Already has in this case.
I liked him even more now.
Do you think Skitty Bitty is now more or less likely to directly talk to a kid like that again? When you were defending it, you said...
What did you think he was? Probably British. Probably British.
Honestly,
is probably what I thought he was. Yeah, what do you mean, what did I think he was? Like, as if it's so obvious, yeah.
Fine, totally normal, whatever, good even. But do you think, and I'm not talking about general discussion or hypothetical or whatever, relating to the general idea of getting out from under bad parents, do you think exactly like that it's likely to ever happen again? Is it possible it might dissuade other people, maybe even people whose values you don't like, from doing a similar thing? Possibly, even just a little bit. Maybe your answer is no, it will have no effect. Gotta try.
His tagline is literally, I'm harmful opinions and I'm technically an American. That is just not true. There's no way.
Weird anon strangers on the internet teaching kids how to bypass their parents in relation to their own online presence is suspect as hell. You're clearly familiar with this person. You maybe have some sort of connection. Don't. To me, they're just some freak online. I even sought advice about this. And I was told, report that shit. And what I was told was way more extreme than anything I've said.
Damn. A thorough raping. Okay. A very thorough raping. Okay. From Harmful. Very good. Very good. Can't believe I'm not subscribed to him on main yet. It's crazy. I'm already subbed on my second channel.
What type of fucking person you are.
I watch him on my second channel where I watch YouTube.
No, I get it. I get it, man.